It's time for Spring Hill High School football.
One to the right side. Braden throws the slant for Kroll. In and out. Did he catch it on the bottle? He did. Bryson Kroll hauls it in for a 9-yard touchdown reception.
Spring Hill Sports Live is brought to you by Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning, Price Chopper, Kim Thompson at Prudential Financial, the Spring Hill Recreation Commission, Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center, Cedar Lake Village, Crown Realty, the Elliott Insurance Group, Prime Accounting Solutions, Farmers Insurance, Leah Smith Agency, Tri-Century Bank, Allstate, Libby Clark Agency, the Spring Hill Chamber of Commerce, Spring Hill Fitness, Perfect Detail Salon, and Whitesell Optometry.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's time for Bronco football.
And good evening from Spring Hill District Stadium on opening night of Friday Night Lights for the Spring Hill Broncos as they host the Louisburg Wildcats. Along with BJ Harris and Caden Carbajo, I'm Bryce Kessler, and we welcome you to Spring Hill Sports Live. Week 1 of the football season. Both these teams obviously excited to get this season underway, and I think I speak for the other two guys in the booth with me. We are also excited to get this season and tonight underway. This is the Comfort Designs pregame show as we get you set for kickoff coming up here at 7 o'clock tonight between the Broncos and the Louisburg Wildcats. Louisburg last year a 10-1 squad that made it all the way to the quarterfinals of 4A before they fell to eventual state champ Bishop Miege, and they are also the defending Frontier League champions. They won their first Frontier League title in 8 years and had their first 10-0 start since 2010 last season, and they are back with a lot of guys from that team, but they do miss a couple of key players, a couple of shrine bowlers from that team on the offensive line, and Kiefer Tucker and Austin Moore, their do-it-all running back. But they've got their starting quarterback back, Madden Rutherford, entering his third season now as the starter for the Louisburg Wildcats, and he's the head of that option attack that we'll see from Louisburg tonight. Meanwhile, for the Spring Hill Broncos, a 4-5 season last year, lost in their first-round playoff game at Pittsburgh, and they too bring back quite a bit from that season ago, including their starting quarterback, Corbin Myers. So both teams have experience under center. Both teams have some experience back at the offensive line. And for the Broncos, they also bring back their workhorse back in Zaid Barker, but they're replacing their entire receiving core from a season ago. So should be a fun one. It always is on opening night. Never know quite what you're going to get because, again, it is opening night. Some new guys will stand out and start to make their names known here in these high school ranks. And like I said, we'll have a couple of returners that we'll certainly have our eyes on as well. Coming up in the Comfort Designs pregame show, we'll take a look next at some of the other Frontier League action around the state or around the area here tonight on opening night. Jason Feeback, the head coach of the Broncos, he'll join us to chat about this one and the offseason and everything that's leading up to this exciting opening night. Starting lineups, keys to the game, that's all on the way as well here on the Comfort Designs pregame show, leading you up to a 7 o'clock kickoff tonight. Coming up next, the area matchups presented by Spring Hill Fitness. You're watching Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Are you looking for a trusted heating or air conditioning contractor in the Spring Hill area? Look no further than Comfort Designs. Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning has 100% NATE certified technicians who are friendly, knowledgeable, and ready to help. They'll care for your home and complete the job with speed and precision. Locally owned and operated for more than 20 years, Comfort Designs, Spring Hill's heating and air conditioning company. See all they have to offer at comfortdesigns.net or schedule your appointment at 913-592-4453. Elliott Insurance Group is a proud supporter of Spring Hill and USD 230. At Elliott Insurance Group, we work, live, and shop in our local communities, serving Miami and Johnson counties for more than 45 years. Elliott Insurance Group understands your needs. As an independent insurance agency, Elliott Insurance Group works with numerous carriers to find the coverage that best fits your needs. In Spring Hill, call 913-592-5552 or visit elliottInsurancegroup.com.
Shop local and save at Price Chopper, your hometown grocery store in Spring Hill. Price Chopper has great everyday deals throughout the store. Enjoy hand-cut steaks from the meat department, the freshest fruits and vegetables from the produce aisle, and savor the flavors from the bakery. Check out their weekly ad to get the best deals on what you need, from apples to aspirin, Cool Whip to Cool Crisp lettuce. Plus, the Spring Hill Price Chopper is now your home for Dunkin' Donuts. Locally owned and operated, Price Chopper in Spring Hill. Open daily 6 a.m. to 10 p.m.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Welcome back into the Comfort Designs pregame show. The pregame show is brought to you by Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning, locally owned and operated for more than 20 years. Comfort Design is Spring Hill's heating and air conditioning company. Learn more at comfortdesigns.net or call 913-592-4453. It's opening night here at Spring Hill District Stadium with the Louisburg Wildcats in town to take on your Spring Hill Broncos, live here on Spring Hill Sports Live. And also opening night across the state and across the Frontier League as we take a look at some of those matchups. They're brought to you by Spring Hill Fitness. Your local community gym, Spring Hill Fitness, is dedicated to making a friendly, judgment-free environment. Open 24/7. Check them out on Facebook or call 913-686-2027. Ottawa at Baldwin tonight in Frontier League games. Ottawa 16-game losing streak entering play tonight after finishing 0-9 last season. And Baldwin's debuting a new head coach in David Bowen, who comes to the Bulldogs from Hayes T&P after one season. So two teams who finished at the bottom of the league last year will square off tonight in Week 1. Bonner Springs is at Paola tonight. Paola starting the season ranked in the 4A polls by many different media outlets, including Kansas Pregame. They've got a number 4 in the 4A polls. They've got 7 starters back on both sides of the ball from that 9-2 team last season. They opened tonight at home against Bonner Springs. Eudora, they've got Piper in the opener. Eudora just 5-22 over the last 3 years. Now under their second-year head coach Sean Hayden, while Piper also enters the second year of their head coach Rick Pollard. So we'll see. Interesting to see what steps forward both of those programs take this year as they square off against each other tonight. Good one in Tonganoxie this season. Tonight it's a non-league matchup as Basel-Linwood visits Tongi. Tonganoxie 7-3 last year. They're now 16-4 the last 2 seasons, while Basel-Linwood, they lost in the semifinals to Bishop-Miege last year in a 10-2 season. So that's a pretty good matchup Week 1 in Tonganoxie tonight. This week in Spring Hill Athletics as well, the boys soccer team Tuesday, they took on Gardner Edgerton, falling 3-0 in that one. A goal in the opening minute of the game, or opening few minutes anyway of the game. It remained 1-0 until a couple of late goals by Gardner Edgerton made it a 3-0 final, but the Broncos did bounce back with a 5-0 win yesterday over Ottawa to improve to 2-1 now in the young season. They'll be back on the field next Tuesday. Road matchup against Turner, and another game on the road Thursday next week at Eudora. For the volleyball team, they won Tuesday against Ottawa, improving to 2-0 on the season. A dominant 3-set sweep for the ladies in that one. Jalen Stevenson led the attack with 13 kills, set up by a 31 assist night from freshman setter Daphne Gardner. Stevenson also tied Mariah Hess with a team-high 4 aces for Spring Hill in the win. They are undefeated on the early season, with 4-0 start for the girls. They will be busy next week. A match at Eudora on Tuesday, a quad at Piper on Thursday, and a tournament in Lansing on Saturday. So a very full week for the volleyball team coming up. Girls golf, they've got a tournament at Lamont Hills next Tuesday and in Girard on Thursday. Cross-country team, they'll be running next Thursday at Lexington Lake Park. And the tennis team, girls tennis, they've got home quads on both Tuesday and Thursday next week as fall sports are underway, including the football season, which is about 20 minutes from getting underway. Louisburg and Spring Hill, that's what's coming up here from Spring Hill District Stadium on the Comfort Designs pregame show. We'll chat with the head man for the Broncos. Jason Feeback joins us on the pregame show next. We're 20 minutes out from kickoff. Thanks for joining us here on Spring Hill Sports Live. Coach Feeback's next on the Comfort Designs pregame show.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
What if grass wasn't just for mowing? What if all the games weren't on TV? What if you saw the grandkids on more than just holidays? What if you got out of the house more often, maybe for good? Cedar Lake Village Senior Living. Life is how you live, not just where. To learn more, call 888-508-2022.
Prime Accounting Solutions in Spring Hill is here to help you and your business grow. From accounting services to tax planning, Prime Accounting is here to help you meet your goals and achieve your dreams. The accountants at Prime Accounting Solutions stay up to date on the latest news and information, ensuring the best options, services, and returns for you. Give Prime Accounting Solutions a call at 913-592-2050. Visit them at 408 North Webster in Spring Hill or go online to primeaccounting.net. Weitzel Optometry Vision Source has been the leader in optometry services and vision care in Spring Hill for more than 20 years. Weitzel Optometry offers comprehensive eye care, as well as the latest, most popular lenses and frames for Spring Hill and the surrounding communities. Experience modern eye care with advanced diagnostic technology and vision correction products. And with the experience of Doctors Weitzel and Bloodgood, you're sure to see the results you're looking for. To schedule your appointment, call Weitzel Optometry Vision Source at 913-592-2020.
Welcome back to the Comfort Designs pregame show, and joining us now is the head coach of the Broncos, Jason Feeback. Coach, how's the excitement level for you guys as you get set to kick off the season Friday night?
Yeah, we're really excited about it. Louisburg's a good team. We got a bit of rivalry going on with these guys, and we're just excited to go play somebody.
You had a chance last week to host one of those jamborees with Leavenworth and Turner, a first in the state to have these jamborees. What were some of the things that you guys were able to take away from that opportunity?
Yeah, I thought our guys played really hard. I thought we played loose. We were able to do a lot of things, work with our offense a lot, different formations, a lot of plays, get the balls to some different players. O-line was getting off the ball pretty well. But it's a chance to go against some other guys and get a different look, see some different defenses than what we offer. And defensively, we saw teams that ran the option, double wing. They want to go pistol, power, all that stuff. So it was a good chance for our guys to get a different look, to go compete, and just to kind of see how those guys give them a little feel for Friday Night Lights. They had a lot of fun. I think our fans had a good time. It was great. We had two halves of the field going, and all these kids playing on the field. It was neat. I loved it. So did the kids.
What area do you feel like, Coach, or areas, plural, do you feel like the team has made the biggest strides forward from where you were at the end of last season to all that off-season work and the preseason work, and now to this moment you are right here prior to kickoff week one?
Last year we started, we installed a 3-4 defense. We'd switched from a 4-3. We'd run that for years, dealing with not a lot of D linemen in our program right now. And now we have three pretty athletic guys that are strong. Looking from last year to this year, I've seen some guys grow up. We're bigger, we're stronger in a lot of areas, and I think our team speed's up there too. Our defense is pretty fast. We can cover a lot of ground. Everybody flies with the football. We've got some playmakers, and you look at some of those guys that have just come in, and I love looking at the pictures from junior to senior year with these guys. And we've got guys that have put on 20, 30 pounds, and you just look at their maxes and how they've gone up. So, and I think a bigger picture-wise is our team culture continues to grow and continues to get better. And we talk a lot about getting on the bus, and that's just, we're all going the same direction here. And whether it's academics, being a good dude, none of us are perfect. We're all trying to be the best people we can be, and pushing each other to do that, and just continue to grow the brotherhood, and to care for the guy, and to push the guy next to you, and to play for the guy next to you. And so you're seeing that develop, and the camaraderie with our guys, and the way they'll just go out and compete is as a head coach, that's really exciting to see.
You return your starting quarterback in Corbin Myers, a position that's always in the spotlight, fair or not fair as the quarterback goes. What do you need out of Corbin this year for your team to reach their maximum potential?
We need strong leadership, consistency, good decisions. Just being that steady guy. Corbin, he's a guy. He plays his cards pretty close to his chest. He's not a guy that's going to get too high or too low. He's going to be that steady guy. But, making those throws we know he can make. He's looked pretty good in practices, made some really good throws last week. And just doing that, consistently. We got new receivers out there. We got 4 new spots. And just getting those guys confidence and just continuing to grow, believing in our alignment. We got 3 guys returned from last year, but just continuing to push those guys. But I think anytime you're looking at quarterback, you're looking at a kid with good character that's going to go compete, and he's a competitor.
Who else would you spotlight, Coach, as guys that you will be relying on to get this team where you guys ultimately want to end up?
I'd say a kid that I'm really proud of is Logan Greenhall. He came to us as a junior, and he struggled last year and stuck with it. Was a state qualifier in wrestling, played some baseball, was pretty committed this summer, and as we came into fall camp, he's been a really solid leader. And I think last year, if you would have asked me about that, I wouldn't have seen that coming. Logan Greenhall's really impressed me. Hunter Williard, he doesn't get talked about. The kid had 105 tackles last year as safety. He's 5'8", 145 pounds. He's not very big. Kid's a 4.0 student. He's a top academic kid every semester. We do an academic top 10. He's number 1 every year. Probably he'll be again this year. But the kid gets everybody lined up right, knows everything to do, and then he's tough as nails. He'll just go in and tackle guys, and it's awesome. Jackson rounds on, Carson Downs. I could go on and on about our guys that have been impressive, and our seniors have been so good about leadership. And I'm excited to see what they do when adversity hits. It's going to happen at some point. How are we going to respond to that? So that's when you really see what kind of leaders you got. That's when you really see what your team culture is all about.
Well, the first chance to do that is, of course, with the defending Frontier League champs Louisburg, first opponent up, and it can always be a bit of a guessing game what you're going to get from a team in week 1 when no games have been played yet. But knowing what you know about the Louisburg program and from years past and whatnot, and the returners and everything that goes into that, what sticks out to you when you look at this year's version of the Wildcats?
They got 2 really good D linemen. The white kid, he's getting recruited big time. Good size. Their quarterback, I think he's 20-4, something like that. He's athletic. He threw for over 1,000 yards last year, and he's highly touted. So they've got some really good. They got some really good talent. They're replacing quite a few kids, but with the way Louisburg does things, those kids are going to be ready to play, and they're going to do a good job. So they're going to be fundamentally sound. They're going to be schematically sound in everything they do. Their offense, they do a good job of getting numbers to where the ball's going, trying to flank you or get numbers to where you can't get defensively, trying to overload, get more blockers and defenders on you. So that's a challenge there. And then, you get athletes in the backfield, and that just compounds the problem. So, that's what we're expecting from Louisburg. Week 1, it's still them. They're still a good team. They're preseason number 4 in a couple polls, and a lot of that's from their success last year, but they're still going to come out confident this year, and they're going to be ready to go.
All right, Coach, we'll let you get out of here with a final thought on this game. Across the board, offense, defense, special teams, all the factors. What's most important to your team coming out on top when this one's over?
Week 1, it comes down to being in great shape. It's going to be hot. Taking care of the football team that makes the least amount of mistakes is probably going to win that game. And the team that plays harder is definitely going to win that game. So we need to make sure we come out and play hard the entire game. Try to make as few mistakes as possible. Don't turn that ball over and get the ball back from them.
That's Coach Jason Feeback, head coach of the Spring Hill Broncos. Thanks for joining us, Coach. Good luck and go Broncos.
Thank you.
Coming up next on the Comfort Designs pregame show, tonight's starting lineups and your keys to the game on your home for the Broncos, Spring Hill Sports Live.
Are you looking for a trusted heating or air conditioning contractor in the Spring Hill area? Look no further than Comfort Designs. Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning has 100% NATE certified technicians who are friendly, knowledgeable, and ready to help. They'll care for your home and complete the job with speed and precision. Locally owned and operated for more than 20 years, Comfort Designs, Spring Hill's heating and air conditioning company. See all they have to offer at comfortdesigns.net or schedule your appointment at 913-592-4453.
Your local Farmers Insurance agent is Leah Smith. With more than 10 years of industry experience in both Kansas and Missouri, Leah is sure to customize the right plan for you. Her straightforward and personalized approach will help you better understand your coverage options. Stop on by at 159th and Merlin, right up the street in South Olathe, or call 913-221-0755. Leah Smith Agency, Farmers Insurance, proudly serving Spring Hill and cheering on the Broncos.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Open, flexible, and dedicated to our clients with impeccable customer support. That's why you choose Tri-Century Bank. Have your bank right in your hands with mobile banking and manage your money from the comfort of your home with convenient online banking. Tri-Century is ideal for your business with competitive rates on loans and credit cards to help meet your goals. For 125 years, Tri-Century Bank has been serving Spring Hill. To learn more, join them for one of their monthly coffees. See upcoming events at tricentury.bank.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Welcome back inside the Comfort Designs pregame show from Spring Hill, Kansas tonight. It's the opening night of the Spring Hill Broncos as they host the Louisburg Wildcats. Marching band out on the field. The crowd's cheering away as we're about 10 minutes from kickoff, so that means it is time for tonight's keys to the game and starting lineups. We'll start with those keys to the game. They're brought to you by Crown Realty. Let Crown Realty help you get the keys to your dream home. Check out all of their listings at crownrealty.com. If you're in the market to sell your home, remember, the key is a great agent. That's what you'll find at Crown Realty in Spring Hill. Call 913-592-2222. All right, I'll bring in my partner, B.J. Harris, here as well as we talk some keys to the game in this matchup. We heard Coach Jason Feeback touch on a few of them, and first and foremost was limiting the mistakes, as you've seen a lot of opening night football games, and those can be very critical to making or breaking that opening night game.
Yeah, so many times it's actually the team that doesn't lose in that first game, and so that's one thing you want to watch here. I think if you're Spring Hill, you come in against Louisburg, and you know they've got the 5th ranking, and that's some good locker room material to put up on the bulletin board. But I bet Louisburg's not quite exactly sure of who they are coming back from the year that they had last year. If you can come out and punch them in the mouth early, have a big hitter, have maybe a big play up your sleeve, and get on top early, them on the road, you in front of your home crowd, put a little doubt in their mind. I think early in this ball game is going to be huge for Spring Hill to see how they can kind of come out and compete against Louisburg.
And you read my mind, BJ, because my second key to the game, a fast start, similar to last year. They actually, Spring Hill led 17-14 at halftime in the game last year. Now, Louisburg ended up winning that game 21-17 as they shut out the Broncos in the second half. But Louisburg head coach Robert Ebenstein, he admitted after the game that, you know, they're a heavy option run, heavy run team. And so all the preseason practices leading up, they don't see a lot of passing because they don't do a lot of passing themselves. And he admitted that it took them a little bit to adjust. So I think, as you mentioned, that fast start will be important before Louisburg can make some of those adjustments.
Yeah, as much as I'm sure people are like, oh, man, we got to play Louisburg off the bat. Louisburg's not thrilled, I'm sure, about playing Spring Hill because of what you just mentioned. The offense that Spring Hill runs is different. It takes advantage of angles. It takes advantage of gaps and spreading you out across the field. It's tough to duplicate. And so that's not something you want to have right out of the gate because, like you said, you haven't been able to practice it. On the other hand, sometimes it's tough to practice the physicality of a team like Louisburg where they're going to line up in 3 yards in a cloud of dust you. And so I think that's something that we'll see the toughness of Spring Hill if they can handle that coming right up the gut at you. And if they can, and that initial punch they take, we're in for a good night.
And then the final thing that Coach Feeback touched on as well, finish. And that's a word that he's used a lot in the preseason practices leading up, but especially week one. The conditioning is always tested very much, and it's early in the season, so it's hot. It's not a cool football, so to speak, weather night out here this evening. And who's got the gas to finish this one, and not only finish, but just literally finish, but still be executing, still be mentally sharp to finish when that fourth quarter rolls around. That could be a huge key tonight as well.
Absolutely. I think it's going to cool off a little bit. It shouldn't be too bad. I don't know if the weather's going to be as big a factor as it could have been maybe a week ago. Well, actually, a week ago was gorgeous out here. I wish it was that weather. But you've interviewed him twice now. He's probably said the word finish 10 times. In 2 interviews. It's pretty important. It's obviously something, and last year's game against Louisburg is a good example of that and why he wants to make that happen here in 2019.
Let's take a quick peek at our starting lineups. They're brought to you by Perfect Details Salon, 516 North Webster in Spring Hill. The Broncos will start this game in style, but nowhere near the level of style you'll find at Perfect Details Salon, where they're devoted to making clients flawless from head to toe. Make an appointment online at salonperfectdetails.com or call 913-592-5022. Bronco offense tonight, they're led by their senior quarterback Corbin Myers, coming off a 1,000-yard passing season a year ago, 6'1", 190-pound senior. The guy sharing the backfield with him will be Zayd Barker, another senior, 5'8", 170 pounds, ran for 858 yards and 11 scores last season. The wide receiving core, all brand new. They've got to replace Brennan Feeback and Easton Jones, their top 2 targets from a season ago. One of those guys that was supposed to figure into that role, Connor Zorn. They lost him to an injury this summer, so we'll find out who's going to step up and be the new favorite target of Corbin Myers. But some of the guys who are going to take first crack at it: Zach Knowlton, a 5'8", 140-pound sophomore; Daniel Mitchell, a 6', 150-pound sophomore; Evan Letillier, a 6'1", 175-pound junior; and the tight end is Gage Klutz, a 5'11", 185-pound senior. On the offensive line for the Broncos, Aaron Dominic, the left tackle, he's a senior. Wyatt George, a senior and returning starter, is the left guard. Denver Gardner, junior center, also a returning starter. J.B. Watkins will be at right guard, a senior, and Tanner Thompson, the junior right tackle. Defensively for the Louisburg Wildcats, they're going to roll out a fast defense with a stud up front, Braden White, a Division I type talent. Braden White, 6'4", 275-pound senior. He was all-state last year on the offensive side, was second-team all-league on the defensive side. He will head that defensive line along with Andrew Krause, Garrett Harding, and Andrew Hupp. The linebacking core, Charles Kuntz, Jay Scullin, and Weston Getterman. And then you've got Ben Weideman, Michael Waldron, Justin Collins in the secondary. That's the starting lineups brought to you by Perfect Details Salon. And we'll be back for the opening kickoff right after this. You're watching Bronco football on opening night on the Comfort Designs pregame show.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
When it comes to protecting your family, home, and business, look to a local, community-minded agent. In Spring Hill, that's Allstate agent Libby Clark. With more than 15 years of industry experience, Libby and her team are committed to providing a customized family protection plan that fits your needs. A full-service agency, Libby Clark offers a broad range of insurance and financial services, building relationships with a focus on helping their neighbors. That's the Libby Clark Agency. Visit them on the southeast corner of 223rd and Harrison in Spring Hill. Shop local and save at Price Chopper, your hometown grocery store in Spring Hill. Price Chopper has great everyday deals throughout the store. Enjoy hand-cut steaks from the meat department, the freshest fruits and vegetables from the produce aisle, and savor the flavors from the bakery. Check out their weekly ad to get the best deals on what you need, from apples to aspirin, Cool Whip to Cool Crisp lettuce. Plus, the Spring Hill Price Chopper is now your home for Dunkin' Donuts. Locally owned and operated, Price Chopper in Spring Hill. Open daily 6 a.m. to 10 p.m.
A great collision on the field? Awesome. An awesome collision on the road? Not so great. If that bad play does come your way, take your car to Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center. As Kansas City's premier auto collision repair center, they work on all makes and models, even RV, marine, aviation, motorcycles, and more. Shoemaker Collision offers free estimates and loaners, plus they will work with all insurance companies. Get your ride back in the game. Learn more at shoemakercollision.com or call 913-592-0095.
Welcome back live to opening night on Spring Hill Sports Live as the Spring Hill Broncos host the Louisburg Wildcats. You've been watching the Comfort Designs pregame show, and we are almost set for kickoff. We also want to I missed the coin toss. What do you got? Louisburg
won
deferred.
the toss and elected to defer, and they're going to defend the south goal.
All right, so that means we're going to see Corbin Myers in this Broncos offense first. The opening kickoff is brought to you by Spring Hill Recreation Commission with fall sports in full swing. Full swing. I got it. Full swing. The Spring Hill Rec Commission has turned their sights to basketball season. Registration is open now until November 15th for youth basketball in Spring Hill. Register online at springhillrec.org or by calling 913-592-2214. Can't put swing and spring in back-to-back words on me.
I clearly wasn't thinking about reading it whenever I wrote it. So, yeah.
Along with B.J. Harris and Caden Carbajo, I'm Bryce Kessler, and we are excited for opening night here between the Spring Hill Broncos and the Louisburg Wildcats. Louisburg head coach Robert Ebenstein in his third season, a 16-5 record. He's actually a Spring Hill High School graduate himself, so taking on the alma mater here tonight. Spent 5 seasons as an assistant at Louisburg before being named the head coach prior to the 2017 season. And opposite sideline here, Jason Feeback entering his 5th season as the head coach of the Broncos with a 13-23 overall record here at Spring Hill, 25-31 overall head coaching record as he spent a couple of years at Chanute High School as well. Spring Hill coming off a 4-5 season, and Louisburg 10-1 a year ago before losing in the quarterfinals to Bishop Miege. Drake Varnes will tee it up to kick it off to get us started here tonight. Zach Knowlton is the deep man back there for Spring Hill. 2019 football season on really a beautiful evening is set to kick off here in Spring Hill tonight. 83 degrees here at kickoff, and Varnes puts the right foot into it, and the kick is fielded at the 12-yard line for Spring Hill. Right up the middle comes Landon Kaiser, I believe it was at 23. It was Barker. Okay, Zaid Barker on the return. And it'll be Spring Hill football to kick off the season.
It was a good return. Nice little gap there to be able to get past that first initial kind of wave of Wildcats to have pretty good field position to get things started here.
So Corbin Myers, the starting quarterback up front. Dominic, George, Gardner, Watkins, and Thompson left to right on that offensive line for Spring Hill. Zaid Barker, he's their leading rusher from a year ago. He had 40 yards on 13 carries against Louisburg in their Week 1 matchup. He's the guy who will line up in the majority of the time behind Myers in the pistol.
They're going score clock. Got to change that thing to 40 seconds.
New rule this year.
Or the play clock, rather. And that's first year of this. And just talking to the guy's got to operate it and said pressure's on because the way this new rule goes, as soon as the ball's blown dead, that 40-second clock resets and starts, and you've got 40 seconds to run the next play. Traditionally, the ball would get set, they'd blow a whistle, and you'd have 25 seconds to get the play off. And
they actually had to switch. You were right initially. The game clock was at 14:53. They moved that down. We don't play 15-minute quarters. It's Knowlton on the handoff on a little end around for Spring Hill on their opening offensive play. Jay Scollin wraps him up, makes the tackle for Louisburg, but a healthy 5-yard run on first down for Knowlton.
Yeah, really good pickup. Offensive line getting downfield. That's one thing we saw at the Jamboree last week was this offensive line. They're not huge. They're not going to overwhelm you physically, but they can move, and they can get to the second level, and that was what sprung that for a nice little game.
They'll bunch the receivers on the left this time. Knowlton, he's the inside man of that bunch. The tight end, Gage Klutz, at the point of it. Mitchell, the outside guy of the bunch. Barker right up the middle. Nowhere to go that time, though. The interior of that defensive line for Louisburg, which is led by Braden White, and they were there to stuff the Barker run and lost maybe a half a yard on the play.
Yeah, if you want to know who Braden White is, he's right in the middle of the screen. He's not hard to find. I mean, he's the dude that looks like a next-level player, certainly line up over the ball. So whoever's got duty on him is going to have their hands full today.
3rd down and 5 for Spring Hill. Opening drive, 10:48 left in this first quarter. Out of the pistol, Myers has the snap come in low, takes it off a bounce under immediate pressure, and he's wrestled down by Ben Weideman, the defensive end on the left side of the Lewisburg defense. And unfortunately, with that low snap there, BJ. Just threw all the timing off for Myers, got his eyes down, and that was doomed from the snap there.
Well, it was a little bit of foreshadowing because White's lined right up over the top of that center. So, the center's thinking, I got to get the ball back there, and I've got to get ready for this guy to be right in my chops. And so I don't think he got the first job done. So the second job didn't really matter. They held initially. It looked like he was going to get scape out, but good pursuit there by the defense.
So Spring Hill now facing a 4th and 13, 2 minutes into this opening quarter. Another low snap on the punt, but getting a nice boot into it was Logan Greenhall, and it's going to take a huge Spring Hill bounce and down there to try to down it inside the 5, and doing so successfully for Spring Hill was Hunter Williard.
Wow.
At the 2-yard line as well, they'll spot this one. The hustle by Williard to get down there, and the punt, albeit most of it on the bounce, Logan Greenhall will take that. That's a big boot.
Yeah, it came off his foot like a line drive to him. It was straight off his foot, a nice little spiral. He had pressure on him because of the low snap, and I think he just kind of had to rush through it, and, boy, it worked really well. And then really nice hustle getting down there to jump on top of it right before it rolls into the end zone.
So now Louisburg's offense, an option attack, and no option team likes to be on their own 2-yard line because a lot can go wrong, and you're messing around in the backfield a long time in the option game. When that goalpost is staring you down in the back, that is not the spot that Robert Ebenstein wanted his Louisburg Wildcats to have to start from. But they do have an experienced quarterback, Madden Rutherford, third-year starter. He's the quarterback with the tailback Ben Weideman behind him, and the 2 wingbacks are Charles Kuntz and Jay Scollin. They'll go straight handoff to Weideman, picks his way through the center of that defensive front for Spring Hill and out to the 15, maybe the 16-yard line even before Cody Powell makes the tackle for Spring Hill, but that immediately gets Louisburg off the goal line out to the 16-yard line on a 14-yard run.
Yeah, pretty big hole on that left side of the offensive line to be able to get up in there. Not really any contact until he got about 5-6 yards downfield.
First down and 10 at the 16, 9:40 left in the opening quarter. This the opening drive now for Louisburg after Spring Hill went 3 and out. They had a promising opening play, picked up 5 yards, but then went no gain and sack. So after the 3 and out, Louisburg, their second offensive play from the 16 with a new set of downs. Rutherford calls out the snap count, then gets it to the motion wingback. That is Charles Kuntz across the 25-yard line. Again, gets into the secondary before the tackle is made by the Broncos. Wyatt Dickey, along with Jackson Roundzon, make the stop for Spring Hill, but it's another first down. 2 plays, 25 yards so far on the ground for Louisburg.
Yeah, the way this offense works for Louisburg, they want to have one more guy going the direction of the ball than you have defending it. So guy, they'll match up, and then they'll have one extra guy to get to the next level. And if you can't push anything down or create a pile there, it's going to be a hole almost every time. They just beat you with numbers a little bit going the way of the ball. Now they spread you out.
Yeah, spread it out with 4 wide. The wingbacks, they both go into the slots. Rutherford out of the shotgun. Kuntz, one of those slot men, comes in motion and gets the forward pitch from Rutherford. Lost his footing as he tried to turn the corner, and there to make sure that was all he was getting was the safety Brady Larson coming up to make the tackle for Spring Hill with 8:40 left in the opening quarter. No gain on the play, 2nd and 10.
I'll get on my first of what's going to be many soapboxes. Coaches outthinking themselves from time to time offensively. Coach Ebenstein, I mean, you just had run, 12 yards, 15 yards, then spread them out and get nothing. I don't never understand why coaches insist on trying to outthink themselves. 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and you're trying to run 3 yards and you get 15 every time, stick with what works. I bet they go back to it.
Well, they're back in the traditional wingback set here with Rutherford standing 5 yards behind the center. They hand it off to Kuntz for a 3rd straight time. And again, not much there. Back-to-back times they corral Kuntz and get him for a short gain here, only 2 yards on that run. It looked like leading the charge was Carson Downs, one of their leading tacklers from a year ago, senior defensive end, 6'3", 190-pound, good-looking senior for the Broncos.
Talked about a good first start. Didn't quite get it offensively. Defensively, if you can get a stop right now, this is – I know it's early in the game, obviously, but this is still a pretty big 3rd down to try to hold serve a little bit on this initial drive for Louisburg.
3rd down and 5. Wildcats got first downs on their first 2 plays, but now they face their first 3rd down. Rutherford trying to get everybody lined up, calling out some assignments. Coach Ebenstein says he's the smartest athlete he's ever worked with, and Rutherford's going to go to the air on 3rd and 5. On the post, he's got his man Getterman at the 45 of Spring Hill as they cross into plus territory. There is a penalty flag, though, down in the backfield. Coverage was Brady Larson there for Spring Hill, but there was a penalty. May just fallen out of the referee's belt loop there as he picked it up and put it back in. Maybe he just didn't want to have to go back and get it. I don't know. We'll see. They're
not marking anything off.
I wonder if he didn't just have the flag drop out.
Dom Shearer was in coverage for Spring Hill, and he had pretty good coverage. He was just maybe a half step behind. The offensive player got the inside position, and once you run that post and you've got him up inside on your back hip, the quarterback just has to put it in the right spot, and he did.
They do call the penalty against Spring Hill. It's a roughing the passer penalty. So that's going to cost him an extra 15 yards on top of what was already a 17-yard completion.
That's a tough break for the Broncos.
So that pushes it down deep into Spring Hill territory now. From the 24 of the Broncos, it's first down and 10 Louisburg, 7:16 left opening quarter. Rutherford gets the snap, fakes the handoff this time to Kuntz, and the quarterback, Madden Rutherford, picks his way for a yard or two, runs into a wall of purple jerseys. Spring Hill in there to make the tackle for the Bulldogs, Chase Wilm. Jacob Stovall as well on that gang tackle. It's a 1-yard run for Madden Rutherford, so it brings up 2nd and 9 at the 23-yard line. Opening drive for Louisburg after they forced a 3-and-out with their defense. 6:40 and counting left in this quarter. Scollin, the right wing back. Kuntz, the left wing back. He's been sort of the featured back on this opening drive. He's the motion man. Weideman, the tailback, gets it behind Kuntz, and he's driven backwards. Good job there by the Spring Hill defense. And Stovall again, who was on the previous tackle, once again in there to make the stop after another short gain.
Yeah,
2 yards to the 20.
Hunter Williard also kind of sticking his nose down in there, coming down from that safety spot. That's a big stop right there as well. And what I've really liked about what Spring Hill's done so far defensively, while they've had some not so great plays, when the positive ones, it's because everybody's getting to the ball or really gang tackling. These are pretty good sized running backs for Louisburg, so you're going to have your buddies with you when you get there.
All three of these guys as well, they're on the state 4x4 championship team for Louisburg, so they've got some speed in that backfield, and there was motion up front. That's going to make a 3rd and 6 a little tougher and push it back to a 3rd and 11 after the false start on Louisburg.
And Greenhalgh, that tackle on this near side, I think jumped a little bit, but he didn't go across the line of scrimmage, and that drew him over.
From the 25-yard line of Spring Hill, it'll be 3rd down and 11 for Louisburg with 5:43 left in the opening quarter. Opening drive for the Louisburg Wildcats, one of the top 5 ranked teams in Class 4A to start the season after a 10-1 campaign last year. We'll spread it out for the second time. Rutherford in the pistol, Weideman behind him. Snap good back to Madden Rutherford. Flushed out of the pocket to his left, being chased near the sideline and throws towards the sideline behind his intended receiver, Kuntz, and out of bounds. Good job putting some pressure on and forcing that throw by Wyatt Dickey and Jackson Roundzon. And now 4th down and 11 coming up at the 25-yard line.
Still in coverage, which is huge. When that quarterback starts to come your way as a defender in the secondary, it's tough not to want to creep up a little bit. The defender stayed home, had guys coming, and the guy that was giving chase, I like the way they broke down flat and started coming down the line of scrimmage instead of chasing and looping behind that quarterback. That made him know he had to throw it. He wasn't going to be able to run for any kind of yardage. And now on a 4th down, I tell you what, Spring Hill kicks a field goal probably from this distance with their field goal kicker. Not sure about Louisburg's capabilities, but this is one they're going to go for it on 4th down.
Drake Varnes is the senior kicker for Louisburg, but yeah, not sure the range for Varnes. But you mentioned the Spring Hill kicker. He's Bear Gardner, a guy that they trust up to almost 50, Coach Feeback said. 4th down and 11 at the 25. Rutherford, straight drop, standing in the pocket, now being forced out to the right. Still going to throw down the right sideline, and it's off the hand of his intended receiver, Weideman, and it falls incomplete in the end zone as the Spring Hill defense holds.
Same thing as the play before. Great discipline in the secondary. That took some time to develop. I don't know why they were throwing a home run ball to the end zone. You needed to get 11 yards. You should have probably gone to about the 10 and stopped. That post route worked pretty good for Louisburg earlier. Luckily for Spring Hill, they decided to go all the way to the end zone. What a great stand early in this ball game for the Bronco defense.
After a couple of gashing runs, Louisburg comes up empty, and with 5:27 to go in the opening quarter, Each team has had a possession, and we are scoreless as Spring Hill's offense back onto the field. Corbin Myers in the pistol. Zayd Barker, the guy behind him, had just one carry on their opening drive. And a little option look here. Read option. Myers ended up pulling and keeping, but he's wrestled down to the backfield. Weideman led the way there along with some help from Harding. And that's a loss of, they're going to give him forward progress, basically back to the line of scrimmage. So we'll call it no gain on the play. And it's 2nd down and 10 for Spring Hill as the clock will tick underneath 5 minutes left of the opening quarter.
This entire game's been played on that far hash, which for these guys to have to come over and get that play in. We talked about that 40-second clock. It hasn't been a factor yet.
Play clock at 15 as they get to the line of scrimmage here. 3 receivers spread out to the right. Letillier, the lone man, singled up on the left side. They go with a wide receiver screen to the slot man, Knowlton. Zach Knowlton breaks free, and he's across midfield. Knowlton down the far sideline to the 30, and he's wrapped up down to the 27-yard line. But a big run after the catch on the screen to Zach Knowlton before he was finally dropped in the end by Justin Collins. Huge play for Spring Hill.
A picture-perfect screen executed. When you can see it coming, but you can't do anything about it defensively. That's when the screen has worked, and that's exactly what happened right there. And that little yak after catch, some yards afterwards, and he made a huge play. Now what would Coach Feeback talk about, Bryce? Finish.
49 yards on that play to Knowlton. He's in the slot again to the right. Myers gets the snap. Standing tall in the pocket, going to take the shot down the seam. Klutz is there for a touchdown. Spring Hill.
I tell you what, protection up front. I'm an offensive line guy, so obviously it's a great ball by the quarterback and a nice route by the wide receiver, but he had tons of time. That's a good defensive front for Louisburg, and they didn't even get close to the quarterback. That was a beautifully executed play, a great ball down the field on that post route. They gave him a little taste of their own medicine on that drive.
Dominic, George, Gardner, Watkins, and Thompson, those 5 guys up front doing their job to perfection right there. And Gage Klutz, the senior tight end, on the receiving end of that 26-yard touchdown strike by Corbin Myers.
I tell you what, Myers standing up tall, up on those toes, looking down the field, reading things. He checked down. That wide receiver was the next guy through. Well done.
Bear Gardner, the kicker, is on for the extra point, and it is perfect. 7-0. Spring Hill on their second drive. They need just 2 plays, 3 plays, I guess. 49 though to Knowlton on the screen, and then 26 to the house to Gage Klutz. It's 7-0. Spring Hill on top of Louisburg with 4:31 left to play in our opening quarter. You're watching Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Are you looking for a trusted heating or air conditioning contractor in the Spring Hill area? Look no further than Comfort Designs. Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning has 100% NATE certified technicians who are friendly, knowledgeable, and ready to help. They'll care for your home and complete the job with speed and precision. Locally owned and operated for more than 20 years, Comfort Designs, Spring Hill's heating and air conditioning company. See all they have to offer at comfortdesigns.net or schedule your appointment at 913-592-4453.
The Spring Hill Broncos lead the Louisburg Wildcats 7-0 with 4:31 left to play in the opening quarter on Spring Hill Sports Live. 26-yard touchdown. Gage Klutz, the receiving end of the strike from Corbin Myers. And on the kickoff, Gardner sends Kuntz back to the 5-yard line, and then he is gang tackle just across the 20 by the Spring Hill kickoff team. Carson Downs leading the charge on that tackle on the special teams unit.
I'll tell you what, he's been a factor defensively as well here early going of this ball game.
Downs along with Dominic and Greenhall on the front of this 3-4 defense. Linebacking core is Jacob Stovall and Wyatt Dickey in the middle. Chase Wilm and Jackson Rounds on the outside backers. Dom Shearer and Anthony Lakin are the corners. Cody Powell and Dom Shearer. And then Brady Larson and Hunter Williard, the safeties. It's Weideman on the carry to start this possession for Louisburg. Shakes one defender in the backfield. It's a few yards out of it, out to the 26-yard line. Spring Hill able to again get some pursuit to the football. We've seen that a lot, BJ, early on. Multiple purple jerseys making the tackles, which is always a good sign of both a fast defense and disciplined defense.
Yeah, and that's the fact. That's the fact of the matter. They're not, again, overly big. They just got to use that speed, and they can get it. You've seen it. I saw it the other night in that jamboree where it looked like there was going to be a wide open on the edge, and it just closed in a hurry. That's what speed will do for you.
4-yard run on first down for Weideman. He's the tailback behind Madden Rutherford on a 2nd down and 6 at the 27-yard line. Scullin goes in motion. Rutherford fakes and keeps himself, and he's cut down at the knees at the 28-yard line. And that was Cody Powell making the tackle for Spring Hill. A short gain for Rutherford. They'll give him 2 to the 29-yard line. And it is 3rd down, and 4 with 3:21 left in the quarter.
Yeah, Stovall, Powell, those guys, if they're getting there like that on a quarterback, that means the defensive line has held their room a little bit. The offensive line's not able, like I said earlier in the broadcast, that it's predicated on them being able to get to the second level and block those linebackers. If they don't get there, it's easy to stop those kind of plays.
3rd down and 4. Kuntz, the motion man. Weideman gets it off right tackle, and he has got the first down at the 35-yard line. So Weideman moves the chains as Jacob Stovall makes the tackle for Spring Hill. 5-yard run, and it's a new set of downs for Louisburg, who drove the ball nearly to the red zone. They didn't quite get into the red zone on their opening drive. Got it right down there on the brink, and then got forced back on a penalty that stalled that drive out before the Broncos held on a 4th down play on a pass into the end zone. And now 7-0 Spring Hill after they struck on just 3 plays on their second possession. Rutherford out of the pistol. Kuntz goes in motion, and Kuntz gets it off the right side. At the 40, he's hit the ball, popped loose. Ball was out, and Spring Hill says they've got the football. There's the sign from the officials, and they do. It's a turnover forced by the Bronco defense. It looked like Aaron Dominic, number 71 in purple, came out of there with the football after it was knocked out of the arms of Charles Kuntz, and Spring Hill will take over in excellent field position at the Louisburg 40-yard line, leading 7-0 with 2:34 left in the quarter.
That's a huge turnover. Deep down inside your own territory. They got them back up in there a little bit, and now you need to take advantage of it. You've already got the momentum. You want to keep it.
It took them only 3 plays for Spring Hill to score last time they had it. A failed run and then 2 big plays through the air. Myers on 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line. Sends Knowlton in motion across the formation to the right side and hands off to Zaid Barker. Looks to bounce outside, and he's got space. Looking for a block down the field as he's inside the 20. Puts the shake on the defender, and he's out of bounds at the 9. Great run by Zaid Barker as he picks up 31 yards on 1st down, and they've got a 1st and goal inside the 10-yard line before the tackle was made by Michael Waldron.
And a little shimmy shake about the 15 or 20-yard line to make that guy think about it just a little bit longer to get it up inside the 10.
It looked like, I think that was Klutz who had the block as well down the field to help Barker get all the way down inside the 10-yard line. 1st down and goal at the 9. 2 minutes and change left in the opening quarter. Spring Hill looking to add to a 7-0 lead. Myers will again give to Barker. A little patience shown on the right side. No gain on the play, though, as Barker was eventually grabbed around the ankles that time by Charles Kuntz. And then a few other white jerseys for Louisburg came in to help make the stop for no gain.
I'll tell you what, and I know we talked about this in the pregame, that Broncos started out early. They led at halftime last year, yada, yada, yada. This Louisburg offense is not necessarily designed to have home runs and have to come back for 14 points down, certainly not 21 points down. And so this is a big one to get a score here and go up by 2 touchdowns.
Myers in the pistol on a 2nd and goal at the 9-yard line. Claps the hands, gets it, and swings it out to Barker. Off his left hand, they're going to say incomplete pass. That was very close to being a backwards lateral, but they will rule it incomplete. It was a forward pass from Myers, who took a hit and got dropped down to the deck as well by Colby Cateau. And now 3rd down and goal at the 9.
Well, when you've got a kicking game that you feel comfortable with, it allows you to maybe not be as risky on a 3rd down and goal like this. He's down here warming up as we speak, and in Bear Gardner. And I don't know how hard you go. I mean, I think you want to score a touchdown. You're obviously trying to run that play, but at least you've got that ace in the hole a little bit.
2 receivers on each side of the formation. Klutz, who had the touchdown, he's in the slot left. Myers out of the pistol. Looks right, quick throw. Letillier going for the fade to the back corner and just a little bit out of his reach. Incomplete in the back corner of the end zone as Evan Letillier was the target, and they're going going to bring on Bear Gardner. And you mentioned they feel very comfortable in their kicker, Bear Gardner. He had a 47-yarder against Louisburg last year. This one much closer than the 47 yards. And obviously conditions can change everything. Tonight's perfect conditions. But Jason Feeback said, they wouldn't necessarily hesitate from up to 50 to give Gardner a chance. This one will be a 26-yard try as Corbin Myers will spot it at the 16-yard line. Snap was a little low, but Myers got it down, and Bear Gardner punched it through. It's a 26-yard field goal from the senior kicker, Bear Gardner, and Spring Hill takes a 10-0 lead on Louisburg with 1:12 left of the opening quarter. You're watching Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
What if grass wasn't just for mowing? What if all the games weren't on TV? What if you saw the grandkids on more than just holidays? What if you got out of the house more often, maybe for good? Cedar Lake Village Senior Living. Life is how you live, not just where. To learn more, call 888-508-2022.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
So Bear Gardner, 26-yard field goal gives Spring Hill a 10-0 lead here on Spring Hill Sports Live, leading the Louisburg Wildcats with 1:12 left of the opening quarter. And now Gardner has it teed up at the 40 to kick it off. What a start for Spring Hill after their opening 3-and-out possession. And then a few quick hitters from Louisburg. Spring Hill has taken control as Gardner punches the kickoff through the end zone. A touchback will bring it back out to the 20-yard line for the Louisburg offense. Their third possession. First one looked pretty good until it stalled out near the 20. The second one ended sooner than they would have wished after a turnover, the game's first turnover. We talked about mistakes, BJ, and we've seen our first big one anyway.
Yeah, you think about that first drive, though, Bryce. They had them at 3rd and 5 when they had that big post play and then roughing the passer after that got them all the way down there. So maybe not even that first drive they were overly dominant, although they were getting some pretty big chunk yardage in the run game. See if Spring Hill could keep that going a little bit defensively.
Spring Hill Bronco defense coming off a turnover the last time they were on the field. Kuntz goes in motion as Rutherford gives it off to Weideman, the tailback, and he bowls his way forward across the 25 to the 26-yard line. Hunter Williard and Brady Larson coming up off the bottom of that pile that made the tackle for Spring Hill.
Tell you what, he's a load coming in through there. He's a pretty good-sized guy. They don't have their weights on there, but he's probably pushing 200, maybe 210 even. He's got some size behind him, big, heavy legs, so he gets into you. You got to be able to try to get him down.
Weideman picked up 6 on first down, 2nd and 4. We near a half minute left of the opening quarter. Scullin was the motion man, and there was also motion by the Spring Hill defense. Aaron Dominic, the right defensive end, is called for the encroachment. That 5 yards will net a first down for Louisburg. Second penalty against the Broncos.
Just the second penalty, I think, of the game.
A third total penalty. They had the one false start on Louisburg, and then we had the roughing the passer, and now the encroachment on.
Should let the guy keeping track of those things, probably. Talk about those things.
I mean, close. I really missed it by 1.
That's right, I did. Thanks.
BJ Harris, Bryce Kessler, Caden Carbajo with you here on Spring Hill Sports Live. Opening night across the state for Kansas high school football. I guess technically, did anybody open up last night? I know there's some City League games that happen on Thursdays, but we'll call it opening night across the state anyway. Weideman off the option, takes the pitch from Rutherford, and he was brought down to the back of the jersey at about the 42-yard line by Dom Shearer, the corner on the near side.
If you're drawing up the option, that's what you do. The quarterback attacks the edge, makes the defender choose between him or the running back, and based on that decision, you make your decision, and he did. They attacked the quarterback, he kicked it out there, and they picked up a nice game.
And that ends the first quarter, 10-0. Spring Hill on top of Louisburg through 1 here on opening night. You're watching Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Weitzel Optometry Vision Source has been the leader in optometry services and vision care in Spring Hill for more than 20 years. Weitzel Optometry offers comprehensive eye care, as well as the latest, most popular lenses and frames for Spring Hill and the surrounding communities. Experience modern eye care with advanced diagnostic technology and vision correction products. And with the experience of Doctors Weitzel and Bloodgood, you're sure to see the results you're looking for. To schedule your appointment, call Weitzel Optometry Vision Source at 913-592-2020. When it comes to protecting your family, home, and business, look to a local, community-minded agent. In Spring Hill, that's Allstate agent Libby Clark. With more than 15 years of industry experience, Libby and her team are committed to providing a customized family protection plan that fits your needs. A full-service agency, Libby Clark offers a broad range of insurance and financial services, building relationships with a focus on helping their neighbors. That's the Libby Clark Agency. Visit them on the southeast corner of 223rd and Harrison in Spring Hill.
Live from Spring Hill tonight on Spring Hill Sports Live. It's opening night for the Spring Hill Broncos as they host the Louisburg Wildcats. And through one quarter, it's 10-0 Spring Hill on top of Louisburg. Madden Rutherford, the Louisburg quarterback, on the first play of the second quarter on a keep off the right side. Takes it all the way down to the Spring Hill 27-yard line. That's a 23-yard run a 33-yard run by the quarterback Rutherford. And that will push it into plus territory at the 27, a 1st and 10 as we just get underway in the second quarter.
We've seen this Spring Hill defense bend a little bit but not break, and so hopefully they can do that again here on this possession. But I do think defensively you might need to mix some things up a little bit because it feels like they're starting to kind of figure out what they're doing to attack it.
A little bit different look here as well as they send three receivers left out of the shotgun. Rutherford gives it to Weideman, who runs to that side behind those three receivers down to the 15-yard line. Wrestled out of bounds on the far sideline by the corner over there, Dom Shearer. And that's enough for another first down to the 16, 11-yard run for Weideman.
Coach talked about Dom, and that's a dynamite comes in small packages kind of thing there with that guy, 5'9", 140. But you've said his name several times on tackles. Now, if he's making tackles against the option game, that's not the best situation because that means they're in the secondary. But at least he's making them before they hit a home run.
Yeah, two of their top tacklers coming back, Shearer and Williard, both play in the secondary, which good for them. They're getting to the ball, but like you said, they're making too many tackles. They're getting too far down the field, and Rutherford won't get very far down the field this time as he was upended right as he crossed the line of scrimmage by Wyatt Dickey, one of the starting middle linebackers for Spring Hill. That goes down to the 11-yard line. And a 5-yard run there for Louisburg to set up a second and short with 11 minutes left in this first half. Louisburg looking to get into the end zone for the first time and their second time down here in striking distance. Rutherford had to go over to the sideline, get the play call. The play clock is down to 10 seconds as they break the huddle. They're going to have to hurry to get this one off. They get to the line of scrimmage, set up with 5 seconds on the play clock. Motion out of the slot, and the snap comes with 2 on the play clock. Weideman gets it off right tackle, and he lunges down to the 5-yard line. 6-yard run. They're going to mark it at 4, actually, so that's a 7-yard run for Weideman, and it's a 1st and goal for Louisburg.
Well, what do you got drawn up for this?
Well, Weideman has been the workhorse. I'm thinking 32's getting it, so we'll see if they trying to stuff anything in the middle. Dickey and Stovall, those two middle linebackers.
Well, they got 10 guys within 2 yards of the ball.
And they do give it to Weideman up the middle off right guard, reaching out for the goal line. The ball looked like it did come out. Now Louisburg's Jay Scollin came up with it, but they'll mark him down at the 1.
Yeah, you can't advance it. It can't go further than where he fumbled it, where it came loose, but he was down just before the goal line when that ball came out.
It's a 3-yard run there from Weideman, who's now carried 9 times for 62 yards for this Louisburg offense. And I tell you what, the coach, I'm not sure if that's Coach Ebenstein or one of their assistant coaches, he was all the way onto the hash to get that play call in there to Rutherford. 9:35 left, second quarter.
Yeah, that's Coach Ebenstein.
From the 1, Rutherford is under center, and he's going to push his way right behind his center into the end zone for the touchdown as Louisburg finds pay dirt for the first time tonight. It took them until early second quarter, but finally they break through on a 1-yard touchdown run by Madden Rutherford.
Well, that was a way for Louisburg to get themselves back to this ball game. It had been all Spring Hill in the first quarter. They did it their way as well by running the ball and a heavy dose of 32 there.
And that brings Drake Varnes on for the extra point try. Madden Rutherford is the holder as well. Both quarterbacks double as the holder. Just don't pull a Tony Romo. I'm still. Oh, there it is. The snap gets away. They pitch it back to Rutherford, and he will be slung down back at the 25-yard line.
Well, that was.
And starting quarterbacks are your holder. I'm just saying. Tony Romo.
Well, it's the opening night of football across the state of Kansas. It's almost every holder is the starting quarterback. So
I know
it's just pretty traditional. But that's that was. Can you tell the future? Is that something I didn't know about you? That was pretty impressive.
Well, they get 6. Louisburg on the board with 9:29 left in the second quarter. It's 10-6. Spring Hill with the lead. I'm just going to keep it right here. As we were rambling about my ability to see the future, I don't want to go to a break and miss coming back out of there. But, no, I swear I can't. If I could, then I tell you what, I'm going to have a good weekend with college football and NFL football. Just leave it at that. I can't see the future, though. I can't do it. But they did work out right there.
Yeah, and that 1 point, I mean, you just never know. It's a 4-point lead. That just looks weird, and it's different. And, if it ever comes down to a field goal, you'll think about that play right there for Spring Hill. And, obviously it was Louisburg taking over a little bit of momentum, but something like that happens, it just kind of peels back just a little bit more. And if you're Spring Hill, you still got that hope that you built up through that first quarter. This drive right here is pretty important to maintain that and maintain the leverage you've built up so far going into the last half of this second quarter.
Dom Shearer, one of the deep men for the Broncos, and he's joined by Zach Knowlton. They're both set up about the 10-yard line here to receive the kick from Drake Varnes. Last time Varnes kicked, he sent it back to about the 5-yard line, gave him a chance to get the return. Broncos lead 10-6 here on opening night with 9:29 left in the second quarter, and this time Shearer won't have a play on it as it sails into the end zone for a touchback. So the 20-yard line will be the starting spot for the Spring Hill offense. Touchdown, a field goal, and a 3-and-out for the Broncos so far tonight.
Well, I tell you what, when I got here and first came to this facility and saw this, the nice digs here, I thought, yeah, it's pretty. The people come out, because I've been to really nice stadiums where, especially covering college football, and they were empty. That is not the case here tonight. Great crowd on hand here inside this facility that is second to none in high school football, and they are behind their Broncos right now.
No doubt, and they've had a lot to cheer about so far. 10-6 lead for Spring Hill. Corbin Myers starts the offense at the 20. Little speed option to the left side. Myers will tuck and keep. Steps out of a tackle at the 25. He's across the 30, out near the 40-yard line, and he's driven out of bounds. Possibly a little bit late on the tackle out of bounds there on Charles Kuntz, but no laundry on the play. The mark at the 45-yard line, but that's a solid 25-yard run from Corbin Myers on first down.
Yeah, really good read on that zone read to get up in the hole and make the decision, and then a little bit of yardage after that. That's a really nice job to keep the ball moving down the field. I'll tell you, Louisburg, things that they're going to talk about at halftime, they've not tackled very well. They've made contact and not been able to bring down the Bronco offensive players.
3 receivers right. Letillier, the one to the left for Myers on a 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Hands off to Barker, and Zaid Barker tiptoes to about 47 for 2 yards. There's Braden White who makes the tackle. And, all the accolades, and they're well-deserved for Braden White. The Spring Hill offensive line has done a pretty good job with him so far. We haven't really had to call his name very often. He makes the tackle there, but they've done a pretty good job with that 6'4", 275-pound defensive tackle across the way from him.
Man, he looks good, though. I tell you what, Barker, though, you said tiptoes. That's because he takes about 6 steps within the first yard. I mean, he picks him up and puts him down in a hurry, which allows him to make those cuts. He made a really good one right there just to get the yard.
Second down and 8 at the 47. Knowlton, the motion man, and he gets it. Trying to get it around the corner on the right side, and he does turn the corner. First down for Knowlton inside the Louisburg 40, where he's knocked out of the 37-yard line. Some speed from Zach Knowlton to get to the corner, and it's a first down, Spring Hill.
Yeah, that was a really well-executed play. You've got to be able to seal that edge, but you've also got to get that edge, and that takes just a little bit of speed. Is the guy that's got you going to get there before you do? And if you get that corner, you see what happens. Once you get the corner, you got about 10 or 15 yards before anybody's going to be there.
8:25 left, or 8:26 rather, left in this first half. Spring Hill on the move, looking to make it 3 straight scoring drives. They got a touchdown, then the defense forced a fumble, which Spring Hill capitalized for a field goal, and now they're looking for more to add to a 10-6 lead. Fake the pitch forward to Knowlton. Now Myers, deep shot down the right sideline into double coverage, and it's knocked down by the defender at the 5-yard line. Looked like he had a pretty good chance to make a play on that ball. I think he's thinking the same thing as he stayed down in a little bit of his own disgust. Michael Waldron hit him right between the hands, and you can't make the, in the college and the NFL, they always say, well, that's why the guy plays the defensive back. Well, he's their starting tight end as well, but that's one that you could tell by his reaction. Waldron wanted another chance at that, but Corbin Myers is certainly glad he doesn't get another chance.
Yeah, and it almost was too good for him because he had time to look at it and look it in and everything. But, boy, big break for Spring Hill not to have that one go the other direction right now on what's been a really good drive so far.
They took a shot on first down. Now let's see what they call up on a 2nd down and 10 at the 37-yard line. Back to Barker they go. He comes near sideline, able to get to the corner there as well, and down inside the 30. They'll mark it at the 27-yard line. Charles Kuntz able to wrap him up at the ankles and get him out of bounds. It is right at the first down marker. We'll see if they end up having to measure it all or whether they're going to just give it to him. It looks like it's across the hash mark, and it is, so they're going to go ahead and signal first down. That's a 10-yard run for Barker. That's a big play coming up after the missed shot on a 2nd down and 10. I mean, I don't know if they were expecting to get all 10. They wanted to get something, make it manageable on a 3rd down. They got a whole new first down out of it.
I'll tell you what, Knowlton coming back, he had a perfect opportunity to get a block in the back, and he held up, and that was crucial on that one. Kind of away from the ball, but big.
At the 27, it's 1st and 10. Myers down the center. He's got Knowlton who hooked up at the 15-yard line. Zach Knowlton again races through an arm tackle attempt by Waldron down to the 4-yard line. You talked about tackling earlier. There's another missed tackle, BJ, and that sets him up at the 4-yard line by Zach Knowlton after the catch there, making a nice play.
Just coming up there, finding the hole in the middle of that defense and just sit down in it. And then, man, he put it right on the money. A nice catch up above his head, but able to pull it down. And again, the offensive line holding steady. Running back stays in there as well as a kind of an extra guy, but he didn't have to do anything because the O-line held the line.
A 23-yard pass completion, Myers to Knowlton. 2nd time those two guys have hooked up, and it sets them up. 1st and goal at the 4. High snap. He gets the handoff down anyway as Barker looks for the goal line, and he finds it. Touchdown, Spring Hill, as Zaid Barker finds the end zone for the first time here in 2019, and he did it by earning those 4 yards.
Zaid Barker's the guy you want to block for as an offensive lineman because he will take advantage of whatever you give him as an offensive lineman. Just give him a crease, and he gets up in that hole, and it was subtle, but a couple quick steps and then off to the left, and that's where the hole was. Took advantage of it and got just enough to get in the end zone.
They'll bring Gardner off at the extra point. He made his earlier extra point try, added a field goal in there as well. That time it looked like he was kicking laces to him, and it doesn't matter. Bear Gardner splits the uprights to make it 17-6. Spring Hill on top of Louisburg with 7:35 left in the 2nd quarter on opening night on Spring Hill Sports Live.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Elliott Insurance Group is a proud supporter of Spring Hill and USD 230. At Elliott Insurance Group, we work, live, and shop in our local communities, serving Miami and Johnson counties for more than 45 years. Elliott Insurance Group understands your needs. As an independent insurance agency, Elliott Insurance Group works with numerous carriers to find the coverage that best fits your needs. In Spring Hill, call 913-592-5552 or visit elliottInsuranceGroup.com.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
3 straight scoring drives for the Spring Hill offense. The latest capped off by Zaid Barker on a 4-yard run to make it 17-6 Broncos on top of Louisburg with 7:35 left in the 2nd quarter here on Spring Hill Sports Live. Bear Gardner has it teed up to kick it off for Spring Hill and gives it a high end-over-end kick that will send the returner back to the 7-yard line. Charles Kuntz up the near hash. Now will try to get across the field, but he's dropped right between the hashes at the 22-yard line. Jacob Stovall makes the tackle for the Spring Hill coverage unit. 7.5 to go, 2nd quarter. Now an 11-point lead for Spring Hill. It's 11 because of a botched extra point by Lewisburg the last time they had it. They got a touchdown, a 1-yard score from Rutherford, but the snap was low, went through Rutherford's hands, and they failed on their extra point try. So potentially big 1 point left out there, but right now Spring Hill's defense, despite getting the score, you just look at their body language. These guys, they look confident out there right now, BJ.
Yeah, they got a little pep in their step, certainly.
Madden Rutherford, the third-year starting quarterback for Lewisburg, will start in the shotgun with 3 receivers left, 1 man over to the near side. Scullin comes in motion across the formation, option near side. There's the pitch off the hands of Weideman. It's on the turf, and Weideman got it back on 1 bounce. Well, I tell you what, an oblong football does not always bounce that kindly, but it did right there for Weideman, who's able to get it back. They lose yards to the 15. It's a 7-yard loss, but that nearly was much worse as Jackson Roundzon was there to make the tackle.
It doesn't bounce like it. You could do that experiment 200 times. It's not going to bounce like that one time. And that's very fortuitous for them. But, boy, they had that red note. Regardless of whether that ball was pitched on time or not, it was well defended. People were going to be in the right spot in that particular instance for the Spring Hill defense.
2nd down and 17 now with 6:50 and counting left. Opening half. Spring Hill with a 17-6 lead here at home on opening night over Lewisburg. Rutherford wants to throw quickly, and he does, but it goes in and out of the hands of Getterman. Went through the hands off the shoulder pads. It looked like, by the way, that ball bounced off of him. It was probably going to be a short gain anyway, as Dom Shearer was right there in coverage, but it falls incomplete to bring up 3rd and 17 now.
That's a long throw, too. That's from the near side hash to the numbers on the opposite side. That's a dangerous throw. If the defender gets 1 jump on that, it's easy going the other direction. You got a short trip to get home, too. But fortunate for Louisburg, they didn't do that, but they didn't make the catch either.
3rd down and 17. This, for an option offense, for any offense, 3rd and 17 is not where you want to be, but especially an option-style offense, 3rd and 17, that's not in the playbook. 4 on the play clock as they get to the line of scrimmage. Down to 1, and they do get the snap off. Rutherford is going to take a shot on 3rd and 17, but he overshoots everybody by about 8 yards. Charles Kuntz was, I'll say, the intended receiver, the closest there for Lewisburg, but step for step with him was Brady Larson, and that is a great job by the Spring Hill defense with a 3-and-out forced, and on 4th and 17, they'll be punting from what you would think is right about the goal line, just shy of that. Madden Rutherford, first-team All-League punter as well as a second-team All-League quarterback. Normally, I'd say when you got your quarterback as your punter, it lends itself nicely to fake punts, but I don't think on 4th and 17 this defense, that's an option.
Inside your 15.
High snap, but Rutherford gets it down, and a wobbling kick is fielded just shy of midfield by Zach Knowlton. Wants the near sideline, but he's wrapped up around the waist and brought down after a short return there. The tackle for Lewisburg made by Andrew Kraus, and with 6:23 to go in the half, great field position once again for Spring Hill.
Yeah, if you're drawing up, hey, we've got a 11-point lead. We just got an 11-point lead. We're giving them the ball back. What's the best thing that could happen? A 3-and-out. Back them up against their own goal line and get a good return and have excellent field position. I mean, Coach Feeback's been living well because this is as good a situation as you could be in right now, late in the half, to be able to get in here and really start to turn the screws a little bit on this Lewisburg team.
Do you take a shot right here? 36-yard line starting this, momentum swinging your way?
I'm pretty conservative when it comes to
We'll see. Myers takes the snap, gives to Barker, and they do go more conservative route as Braden White twists him down just inside of the 35-yard line. A gain of a couple of yards there for Barker, who's now carried 7 times for 49 yards and that touchdown. 2nd down and 8. Klutz, the tight end, just off the right tackle's hip. He was the one who caught the big touchdown earlier. Knowlton, the man in motion, has a couple of nice gains through the passing game as well. They go screen out here near side to Letillier. Got a good block from Knowlton. Makes a man missed inside the 30, and then Weideman stands him up and gets some help to bring him down at the 26-yard line. 8-yard completion. They are going to be, it looks from my vantage point, just across the first down line. We'll see what the officials say, and they agree. That is a first down.
Hurry up.
On the 8-yard completion to Letillier. They will hurry up with still plenty of time to go in the half, 5:46, but right now they've got Lewisburg a little bit on their heels. They want to keep coming at them. No huddle here for Spring Hill. Myers, quick snap, gives it to Barker. He's forced to bounce as he was trying to get outside, and quickly there the defender who made him bounce outside right away was Harding, and then the pursuit gets Barker maybe just short of the original line, a loss of a yard.
Tell you what, Barker to get a yard loss that's a miracle.
There's been several attempted arm tackles that the Spring Hill ball carriers have been able to get out of, and now on a 2nd and 11, Myers going to the air and throws at the feet of Daniel Mitchell. Barker tried to pick up that blitz, and he at least kept it from being a big hit on Myers, but I think the pressure coming in there from the linebacker, Colby Cateau, forced that a little early on the throw by Myers.
Yeah, he was just throwing for survival on that one and got it out. Luckily, there was an offensive player over there near where he was putting that ball down, but he just wanted to get rid of it because that was about to get ugly.
Well, Denver Gardner, their center, lost his helmet, so he had to come out of the game here.
Awful.
And that means that Clanny Fleming is now in there as the center, and it might seem like a little bit not much there, but that's big on a 3rd and 11. Now you've got a new center in there. A good snap, though, back to Myers. They set up a screen, and Barker catches it at the line of scrimmage, bounces outside far sideline, but won't get far. Charles Kuntz runs him out at the 23-yard line, 4-yard gain, but it may be enough of the 4 yards to help make this a little bit easier kick for Bear Gardner.
Just one guy stayed home, and that was enough to force that to go outside. That best case scenario, that's going to go back up in the inside, come back against the grain on that screen pass. That's where the blockers were at, but one guy stayed home, and he'll get a chance to see that leg of Gardner early on in the season.
So Gardner connected from 26 earlier. That was back at the first quarter, and that was into the south end zone. Now kicking to the north end zone with 5 minutes left in the half. A 40-yard try from the right hash. It's high, but it's not going to be long enough. And Gardner comes up a bit short on the 40-yard attempt. So that will end the streak of what was 3 consecutive scoring drives for Spring Hill, but they had a scoring opportunity at least, and the defense will be back on there for Spring Hill as Louisburg will take over at the 23-yard line with 5:01 left to play in the first half. Spring Hill leading Louisburg 17-6. It should be at the 20-yard line, I think. Yeah, now they're going to move it. Unlike college or the pros, a field goal attempt that goes into the end zone is ruled a touchback at that point.
I believe if it's outside the 20, it goes back to the 20. If it's inside the 20, it stays where it is.
Right. Yeah, in this case, being outside. Right. Correct. So they do get that corrected now. Ball is marked at the 20. 1st and 10, Louisburg, and they've got just a 1 touchdown drive so far to show for this offense. And Madden Rutherford will give to Benjamin Weideman on 1st down, and nowhere to go for Weideman. I believe that was Carson Downs on the bottom of that pile, the defensive end on that far side, who had him wrapped up initially. And then Stovall, the linebacker, came in to make sure he wasn't able to get out of the grasp of Downs.
Aaron Dominic did his part, too. He's giving them all they can handle right now up front. He was able to make him go into the backfield and bubble that just a little bit. That allows that play side DN to stay home, allows your linebacker to scrape across and get in there and make the tackle. And that was a nice team effort to be able to get some penetration. When you get penetration against an option offense, you can really disrupt some things.
4:20 left to play first half. 2nd down and 9 from their own 21-yard line. Rutherford speed option left. Tosses it out to Weideman, and he is ushered out of bounds on the far sideline after a 3 or 4 yard run. Dom Shear, the corner on the far side for Spring Hill, makes the tackle. It is a 3-yard gain, or rather a 4-yard gain to make it 3rd down and 5 from the 25.
He's certainly a guy you want to get bottled up at the line of scrimmage. You don't want him to get running downhill like he just did a moment ago, because he'll make you pay a little bit out there on the edge. But again, another big 3rd down early in this game for Spring Hill to hold serve and maintain the momentum that they've built up in this first half. Forcing a back-to-back 3-and-outs would be really big.
3rd and 5, ball on the far hash from the 25 for Louisburg with just over 4 minutes left in the half. Scala in the motion man. Now he'll motion back, and they run that side behind him with Charles Kuntz. And he's got the 1st down as he's slung forward across the 30, mark it at the 31-yard line.
It was pretty well played defensively for Spring Hill. He just found enough of a gap to be able to slice through there and get enough yards for the 1st down.
1st and 10 from the 31. Clock ticks underneath of 4 minutes left in this half. An 11-point Spring Hill lead. Week 1 of the 2019 season, a rematch of last year's Week 1, which was a great game won by Louisburg 21-17. And this one has once again been a very good opening night ball game. It's Weideman the carry Nothing there for Benjamin Weideman, who's been the workhorse so far. That was his 13th carry of this game in this first half, but that one was met with a lot of resistance, just 1 yard.
10 purple jerseys within a yard and a half of the ball carrier when that thing went to the ground. That is nice pursuit to the football, getting where you're supposed to go, and helping each other out. At
some point, you think with that many guys coming up, you're going to see a play-action attempt behind, but this is not a team that wants to necessarily throw a bunch, so that would be my thought anyway, I guess, the offensive coordinator on that Louisburg side. But you're right that the pursuit has been excellent for the Spring Hill defense. Here's that play action. There's the deep shot down the left sideline, but Getterman was all twisted up, and it falls incomplete. Larson, the safety, was back there, and Getterman, I'm not sure whether he just couldn't find the football or whether I don't know, but he had some space there. He was separation from the safety, but just all twisted up, and the pass falls innocently incomplete.
Yeah, he was a little bit outside the numbers and running almost right down him and then cut out to the outside. That ball was put up inside of him, so maybe just a tad bit of miscommunication. Pretty good coverage. Regardless, he was at least down there because like what Hugh had just talked about, easily to get caught up inside there, but staying home in that corner.
Rutherford just 1 for 6 through the air right now. He completed his very first pass for 17 yards, and he has gone 0 for his last 5 now. He's in the shotgun. Weideman stands to his right, wants to throw. Looks like they want to set up a screen perhaps, but instead they come on the out route to the 40-yard line. The catch is made, and they apparently got a foot down. Hunter Williard had blanket coverage on the receiver, Scollin rather, but hard to see with the Spring Hill guys all along the sideline. Whether he tapped the foot, obviously he did. They give him the catch, but that would have had to have been pretty close play there.
It's real close, and you can force them out, I believe, if they're in the air, if they don't come down, I think even at the high school level now. And this fourth down right here, I think Louisburg's going to go for it. Down by 11 here, 3 minutes to go, just under in this first half. I think this is a chance to take a chance, and, they're confident, probably edging on cocky enough to think they can get 2 yards when they need to get it.
Weideman's been their guy. He is lined up right behind Rutherford, who's under center with the wingbacks, Scollin and Kuntz. And there's a penalty flag and a false start against Lewisburg.
I think it's a quarterback is who they're going to get on that. No, they're looking for a lineman.
Yeah, they're looking for one of the lineman numbers, it appears. But that's huge. I mean, that 4th and 2 is one thing. A 4th and 7, that's a whole other ball game.
I thought maybe they were going to get Rutherford because he did get up underneath center and kind of bobbed his head a little bit. Sometimes they'll call that. But now I think if you're Lewisburg, I don't think you can afford to try this here. I think you've got to kick the football and make them drive the length of the field. But they are not bringing in a punt team, although they may let some time run down here and bring in the punt team. Yep.
Yeah, now come the changes. There's still plenty of time, 20 seconds on the play clock. Now, Rutherford, I mentioned it last time when they were not in anywhere near fake punt territory. Not that this is, but it certainly is more possible than the last spot. But he is their starting quarterback, and he is a first-team all-league punter. He's back at his 22. Another high snap. Rutherford taking his time, and he gets the punt away, drives it to the near sideline. Shearer fields it at the 25, and he's able to get a nice return, about 14 yards, back to the 39-yard line. And with 2:45 left in the half, plenty of time, especially with all 3 timeouts remaining for Spring Hill to try to put together another scoring drive right before the half.
Yeah, again, 2:45, plenty of time. Certainly the way they've been able to carve up the defense at times when they've been able to do the things that they like to do. Get to the edge. Over the middle has been open. That pass play to Olding earlier where he kind of settled up right in the middle of the defense. That's one that they've taken advantage of. I think if you look at the secondary, certainly, so far, Spring Hill's got the advantage over this Louisburg team.
And that was one thing last year, the matchup that Robert Ebenstein said it took them a whole half to try to adjust to that, and they shut out Spring Hill in the second half. This one, though, Spring Hill hoping to keep it rolling on them as Myers throws the out near midfield, makes the connection with Gage Klutz. Second time he's hooked up with his tight end, and Klutz picks up another 8 after the catch to the 42-yard line. 18-yard completion on first down with 2:38 left in the half. They've got a ton of time now in plus territory.
I tell you what, that is a really nice ball. Him rolling to the play side, eyes down, and on the move, letting that ball rip and put it right where you did on the sideline. That was a really well-executed pass.
An experienced passer, Corbin Myers, threw for 1,000 yards last year, completing 53% of his passes, 7 touchdowns to 6 interceptions, and obviously that's the numbers you'd like to see sway a little bit heavier on the touchdown side. And so far, he's made a lot of really good decisions with the football, and he's going to go to the air again. Good pocket to throw from, and he tries to find Klutz down the seam once more. They hooked up on that similar look for a touchdown back at the first quarter, and that one just a bit out in front of Gage Klutz. But once again, beautiful pocket to throw from there by Myers. Those guys up front, Dominic George, Gardner, Watkins, and Thompson, they are doing a great job tonight.
And he's able to step up, too, just a little bit. He was able to go up into the pocket to step into that ball, and that's why he was able to get some air under it, maybe a little bit too much air to put that one over. But a nice conservative pass, too, on first down. You don't want to throw an interception there.
2:33 left of the half. Spring Hill looking to add to an 11-point lead. Myers will look for Klutz again. Same play, but different result. This time it's a connection. The tight end Klutz inside the 10-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 8-yard line. That is another beautiful throw from Myers as he hooks up for 34 yards to his tight end Klutz.
I can only imagine what that conversation was from the box down to Coach. Hey, Coach, he was really open. Well, run it again. Yeah, well, okay, let's do it.
And it pays off to run it back-to-back plays as they hit it for 34. And now, first and goal of the 8 with 2:20 left of the half. Spring Hill on top 17-6, and the Broncos want more. Klutz is in the slot right, and now Corbin Myers didn't like either the play call or the personnel lining up. The play clock was getting a little bit low as well, so they're going to take a timeout. But they had 3 remaining, and with 2:09 inside the 10-yard line, that's a smart veteran play by Myers to say, hey, I don't like something here. This is a critical spot. Let's go ahead and use one of those timeouts.
Yeah, the play clock was down to 5, which was too close for him to make any adjustments. I think he wanted to make an adjustment, and he knew he didn't have enough time, and, really headsy play to do that.
One of the benefits of having a guy who's experienced at the position coming back, returning starter in Corbin Myers, and Jason Feeback, head coach of the Broncos, talked a lot about that in the pregame, in the pregame as well, but the whole preseason long, about how nice it is to have a guy like that coming back at that position. Nick Madeline's the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach, and let's see what Coach Madeline has here on a first and goal of the 8 with Spring Hill trying to add to an 11-point lead. 2:09 left in this first half. They'll keep it spread out. Klutz, the tight end, though, standing up, but just off the right hip of the right tackle.
Oh, got him.
Movement up front, and it looked like it was on the defense. That's the signal, the preliminary signal, and it is encroachment against the Louisburg defense.
That was a discussion in that timeout. Hey, here's what we're going to do. We're going to come out and we're going to run a hard count. And on that hard count, not only is it just a hard count, but he claps his hands at the same time. As a defensive lineman, I've been that guy. That is impossible. Coming out of a timeout, you're frothing at the mouth. All you want to do is get there. And that was really, really smart play right there.
And that makes first and goal of the 8 turn into first and goal at the 4. Well, I guess, the 4. Half the distance. You don't get all 5. I was looking for an extra yard for him. First and goal at the 4-yard line. Just outside of 2 minutes left in the half. Myers this time gets the snap on the clap, throws the slant for Letellier, just a hair behind him, and Evan Letellier could not quite haul that one in, but it falls incomplete to bring up second and goal now at the 4.
Well, it was well thrown. I mean, it was a little, maybe a touch behind him, but certainly hit him in the hands, and usually you tell a wide receiver, hit you in the hands, you probably got to make that catch, but that was a fastball, low and away, and he got it to him, but that's a dangerous pass, too. I mean, you don't put that in the right hands, or it pops up in the air there instead of going through his hands, then all this is for nothing.
Spring Hill leads 17-6, so the Broncos are knocking on the door for more. 4 yards away from adding to that lead. They've got 2 backs in the backfield now with Stovall in there to join Barker, and he runs behind Stovall, and Barker twists his way into the end zone for the touchdown. Second time that Zayd Barker has scored from 4 yards out, and this one puts Spring Hill up 23-6 with a Gardner extra point pending.
I tell you what, he is so much fun to watch, and I'm giving a game ball right now to the Spring Hill offensive line. They have dominated. White, and he's legit. I'm telling you, that kid for Louisburg is a Division I talent. He is getting dominated up front. He found himself on his backside on that one. They ran right at him and got it into the end zone.
Gardner on the extra point try is once again perfect. He's 3 for 3 on his extra points. He's added a field goal to boot, and it's 24-6 Spring Hill with 2:02 left in the first half on Spring Hill Sports Live.
When it comes to protecting your family, home, and business, look to a local, community-minded agent. In Spring Hill, that's Allstate agent Libby Clark. With more than 15 years of industry experience, Libby and her team are committed to providing a customized family protection plan that fits your needs. A full-service agency, Libby Clark offers a broad range of insurance and financial services, building relationships with a focus on helping their neighbors. That's the Libby Clark Agency. Visit them on the southeast corner of 223rd and Harrison in Spring Hill.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Welcome back to Spring Hill Sports Live, opening night, and it's been a very good opening night for the guys in purple. The Spring Hill Broncos here at home in their home opener. They lead Louisburg 24-6. The reigning Frontier League champions, Louisburg, after a 10-1 season a year ago, and they find themselves in an 18-point hole with 2 minutes to play until halftime. Kuntz on the return from the 5-yard line, has a bit of a seam. He was hit on the hip to slow him up just enough. He's still, though, on his feet as Carson Downs eventually runs him down across the 40. And see the player that kind of gave him a little shot to the hip right about the 20-yard line that may have saved a touchdown. If he went through that hole with a head of steam, I'm not sure they'd have had the speed to keep up with the state trackster in Charles Kuntz, but they're going to mark him. Must have stepped out earlier at the 38-yard line, so that's where they'll mark it with 1:53 left in the half. This is a big final 1:53 for this Spring Hill defense.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is give them a little ray of hope. That play right there got that crowd woken back up on the far side, and so if you're the Broncos, you do not want to give them just an inkling of hope, as they're going to go into the locker room, and there's going to be some serious doubt in their minds when they go in if you can get out of this first half up by the score you've got right now.
3 timeouts remaining for Louisburg. 1:53 left in the half. 2 receivers both ways for Rutherford. Out of the shotgun with Weideman to his right. Throws quickly out to Getterman, who makes the catch 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And Spring Hill once again able to rally to the football and make the tackle. As Dickey, I believe, one of the linebackers, was the first to grab a hold of him. Larson, Williard both helping out as well. Short gain, but it'll keep it moving forward for Louisburg as they pick up 5 on that first down completion. On second down, again to throw. This one comes in low to Weideman on the near hash, and it bounced up into the arms of Weideman. So that will be, or excuse me, not Weideman, but that is Michael Waldron, the tight end, rather. An incomplete pass brings up 3rd down and 5.
Stops the clock for Louisburg at 1:22, and that's that wasn't going to be a big gain anyways. In fact, they're probably fortunate that went incomplete. Otherwise, the clock's going to continue to tip, and they may have had to use a timeout right there. But Spring Hill has got some cushion, and that you've seen those 2 throws have been underneath and hoping to try to find a gap there and take advantage of that pretty good cushion. I mean, you're looking at a 9-yard cushion over here almost as he creeps up on this wide receiver.
Scotland goes in motion on 3rd and 5. They'll keep it on the ground. Rutherford wants to keep it himself, but he goes nowhere. A yard, maybe 2 is all for Madden Rutherford. Carson Downs makes the tackle, and now on a 4th and 3, 1 minute and 8 seconds left, and I believe Jason Feeback, he wants the timeout now. So 4th down coming up just shy of midfield. Decision time here. We'll see how risky Louisburg wants to get. 4th and 4, 4th and 3 actually. Seems manageable, but on the same side, if you don't get it, you're setting up a really short field with only 68 ticks left in the half. So it's a little interesting decision to be made for Louisburg right here. But Jason Feeback wanted to do his part to at least force their hand to make that decision as he takes the Broncos' second first half timeout.
So on that last play, Carson Downs, really well done. He got between the offensive line, was into the backfield. He was at the mesh point, and then able to recognize that the quarterback did pull the ball and just kept climbing right up into him. Really well played. These guys, those 2 in particular that I've seen tonight, in Carson Downs and Dominic, Aaron Dominic, those are guys that the next level coaches love because 6'3", 190 on Downs, and Dominic 6'6", 200. I mean, a college coach is going to see that frame and go, what can I do for that guy in a college weight room and bulk him up and keep that speed? And they've obviously both of them have a nose for the football. They've been in the backfield several times tonight, and so really nice to see those guys having some success here.
Big 4th down and 3 coming up for Louisburg. 1:08 left in the half. Spring Hill with a 24-6 lead.
Speaking of college weight rooms, they've got one here.
Yeah,
you go into this
beautiful
weight room here, this new one, it is, it's again, the facilities here, and that is just a nice little cherry on the top, almost literally right on top on that north end zone. Big play. Biggest play of the first half.
1:08 left here in the second quarter. Rutherford under center on a 4th down and 3. They go quick snap, handoff to Weideman. He is chased to the near side. Can he get the corner? He will as he crosses midfield and goes out of bounds at the 44-yard line. Man, they were trying to string it. Thought maybe they might be able to get Weideman before he could get around the corner, but he was able to get the first down, but he's also injured on the play. And you hate injuries of any kind, any time. And this is the star tailback for him who has gone down now for Louisburg. 1:01 left in the half. We'll take a quick timeout and be back with more late first half action here. Spring Hill leading Louisburg 24-6 on Spring Hill Sports Live.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Shop local and save at Price Chopper, your hometown grocery store in Spring Hill. Price Chopper has great everyday deals throughout the store. Enjoy hand-cut steaks from the meat department, the freshest fruits and vegetables from the produce aisle, and savor the flavors from the bakery. Check out their weekly ad to get the best deals on what you need, from apples to aspirin, Cool Whip to cool crisp lettuce. Plus, the Spring Hill Price Chopper is now your home for Dunkin' Donuts. Locally owned and operated, Price Chopper in Spring Hill. Open daily 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Prime Accounting Solutions in Spring Hill is here to help you and your business grow. From accounting services to tax planning, Prime Accounting is here to help you meet your goals and achieve your dreams. The accountants at Prime Accounting Solutions stay up to date on the latest news and information, ensuring the best options, services, and returns for you. Give Prime Accounting Solutions a call at 913-592-2050. Visit them at 408 North Webster in Spring Hill or go online to primeaccounting.net.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Back in Spring Hill, it's the Broncos on top of the Louisburg Wildcats 24-6 here on Spring Hill Sports Live. 1:01 remains in this first half. 18-point Bronco lead. And the lead tailback in this Louisburg run-heavy attack, Benjamin Weideman, after an 11-yard run on a 4th down and 3, he got the first down, but it came at a bit of a cost for their lead tailback, who's having some assistance off the field right now. And so far tonight, he's carried 14 times for 72 yards. That's a little over 5 yards per carry so far. I mean, he's been their workhorse guy, and that will certainly cause an adjustment a little bit to this game plan. You
can bet they would trade that 4th down over. I mean, they'd turn it over on downs and trade that for that injury any day of the week. That's a very costly 4th down pickup.
So with Weideman out of the game, the new running back now, Colby Cateau, he is the guy standing behind Rutherford, who will throw on 1st and 10 to the 44. Waldron going down to the ground to make that catch, and make the catch he does at the 39-yard line. 5-yard completion in front of Cody Powell.
If he made that catch, there's no reason why the clock is stopped, because it was inbounds. That clock should be running.
Yeah, the official signaled to stop the clock. Now the head official, right, and then the head official came in and says to wind it. So you're right. It lost a couple of seconds maybe, but now a timeout's going to be used by Louisburg.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say 6 or 7 seconds. They were yelling at the score clock. The score clock did what they're supposed to do. I mean, the official said, but the official should have never done that, because if it was a catch, as low to the ground it had to have been in bounds. Clock continues to run. But,
neither here nor there. 42 seconds remains in this first half. That was the first timeout used by Louisburg. So they've got 2 remaining. They'll face 2nd and 5 from the Spring Hill 39-yard line. This game was started with a couple of defensive stops, and then Spring Hill went 3 straight scoring drives, nearly made it 4 straight, but they missed a field goal, and they came back after that, failed to score a drive, and did score again. So they have been clicking on offense in this game. And defensively, they gave up the 1 touchdown, a 1-yard run to Madden Rutherford on a pretty good drive by Louisburg at the time. But other than that, this has been a pretty impressive first half showing by Spring Hill on both sides of the football.
Yeah, we saw them at the Jamboree last week. I thought, man, offense, that ran really well. And I talked to Coach afterwards. We're down the field, and I said, that went pretty well. He goes, yeah, I was pleased with that. But, they're running scripted. Leavenworth and Kansas City Turner. I mean, those are not world beaters necessarily. And so you think, how good were they? But the thing they did was execute. I mean, it's one thing to run the plays you want to do, but they did what they wanted to do crisply. It looked good, and so far this has been a continuation of that. I mean, very few kind of missteps or certainly no monumental mistakes necessarily, and so hopefully that continues.
47 seconds left in the half. And it is second and 5, rather, with a 39 of Spring Hill for Louisburg. Rutherford looks to throw, has some good time, and throws off his back foot. And the flag route, and they're going to throw a flag on the route there as the receiver, Scaldin, looked like he was twisted up himself. And then Williard, the defender for the Broncos, came over there and made a little contact, but I'm not sure it really warranted a flag. And
where he got himself was he never really kind of looked back towards the ball. He kind of just ran through. He was on a trajectory. He was just going to continue on it, and it kind of caught the hands perhaps of him. I was going to argue with it when one official threw it. When both of them did it, well, that's hard. It's one thing that they're 70 yards closer. It's another thing if there's two of them that are 70 yards closer.
No doubt. So the pass interference against Spring Hill will move it down to the 24-yard line as 15-yard penalty does give them a first down. There's no more automatic first down on that anymore, but the yardage here will lead to a first down anyway. The first down and 10 from the 24. 41 seconds left in the half. Spring Hill defense looking to come up with a big stop, if for nothing else, momentum purposes, as we get set to end this first half. Madden Rutherford has Colby Cattell behind him. They've lost their top tailback on this drive, Weideman. And Rutherford, it's been all through the air now with the time situation, but this time they will hand it off, and it's Cattell, left side, not a lot there. Got to the original line of scrimmage, and the tackle made by Jacob Stovall, and Louisburg will take their second timeout with 34 seconds left in the half. Well, I think if I'm putting myself in the mind of Louisburg, it's been pass, pass, pass. I think they may have thought, maybe we can catch them with a run here. We've lost our tailback. We've been throwing a lot. Now sneak a run in here, but kudos to the Spring Hill defense. They not only weren't fooled, but they made a solid tackle and only gave up a yard on the play.
Yeah, I'd say if there was a word to describe the Spring Hill defense in this first half, it's discipline. They've been really good about staying home in the secondary, not getting caught up on a play action to suck up and let something go over the top of them. Really just that one big post route. And even that was pretty well defended. He just had good position inside. They've been on against an option team, especially a double wing where you've got really guys moving everywhere. Defensively, it's hard, but you've got to stay home. Your instinct says go to the ball, go to the ball, go to the ball, but you can't. Sometimes you got to lay back a little bit, make sure it's going the way you think it's going, and then be sure about it, and then attack and go to the ball. It happens real quick, but that little hesitation will make a big difference.
You mentioned the big post route. That was the first completion of the game, went for 17. Outside of that, they've got 18 passing yards. Rutherford on a 2nd and 9 at the 23-yard line. He'll send Scaldin in motion from the right slot over to the left. Looks to the single receiver side now, Waldron, and it's too tall. He tried to climb the ladder up to get it. Cody Powell was right there on him, and the pass sails over the tight end Waldron's head. So with 30 seconds left in the half, 3rd down and 9 coming up. Drake Varnes is their kicker, and they passed on a chance closer, about right here, about the same type of spot, opposite end of the field. But so I'm not sure in this case with the clock as low as it is, if that's a possibility at all, and perhaps whatever they pick up or don't pick up here on this 3rd and 9 may make that decision for them. 2 receivers both ways on a 3rd and 9. Rutherford again sends Scaldin in motion. Snap back to Madden Rutherford. This time looking the 3 receiver side, down the seam towards the post, and it is caught on the back of the end zone, and just inside of the end zone is Charles Kuntz to make that catch. He had hardly any more real estate left to get that and stay in bounds, but Kuntz makes the catch going down to the turf on the throw from Rutherford, and that is a 24-yard touchdown for the Louisburg Wildcats.
Man, what a clutch throw. And he was on his back feet because there was pressure coming to him. He holds up for a half second longer. 1, the receiver's running out of the back of the end zone because he didn't have any room to go. And 2, he's going to get smoked by a whole host of defensive linemen for the Broncos. But he just let it rip and hoped that guy could run underneath it. And he did. Again, there was defenders there in the area. They just found a hole, and sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and there's a little bit of both, I think, on that play.
Going to try to get that point that they lost on the botched extra point back here as they will line up for a 2-point conversion attempt. Rutherford's got Cato to his right, 2 receivers right, 1 left and a tight end right. They will keep it to Rutherford. The quarterback spun out of a tackle in the backfield. Jackson Roundzon could not make the stop in the backfield, and Rutherford able to spin away and get in for the successful conversion. So 24-14, they do get that point back from that earlier botched extra point, and it's still a Spring Hill 10-point lead here with 24 seconds left, but every coach will tell you those few minutes prior to halftime, those few minutes coming out of halftime, so important for momentum's sake, and that for Louisburg's sake was a big touchdown. But good news for Spring Hill. There's a lot of positives to focus on for them, and they also have the 10-point lead.
Yeah, that'll be the conversation right off the bat when they get to the locker room. Hey, fellas, that didn't end the way we wanted it, but that's a very good first half. We want to try to come back in and do those same things that they were doing, in the first half. And odds are Louisburg is going to be doing it without their leading rusher from that first half. And so that's another thing that's not the ideal drive you want to end the first half if you're Spring Hill, but hopefully you can get to the locker room, fix the things you want to fix, and come back and do it again.
24 seconds remains in the half. And the Broncos likely to go conservative route pending what happens on this kick return. With that 10-point lead, they've got just the 1 timeout as well. Shearer and Knowlton, the guys who are deep for the Broncos, set up at their own 6-yard line, waiting for the kick from Drake Barnes. Last time kicking towards the south end zone, Barnes put it in the end zone for a touchback. And this kick is a low, wobbling squib kick that goes up off of one of the upbacks for Spring Hill, and then falling on the football back near the 15-yard line was Jacob Stovall, and that had a little bit of a tense moment to it, but Stovall able to cover it up to 15, and now they'll certainly just go conservative, probably, I don't know, maybe even a knee here, and just get the thing to halftime.
Yeah, I think that would be the wise thing to do. That's why you kick the ball like that, and again, we've talked about the oblong aspect of it. That ball will bounce. If you let it hit the ground on a kickoff, it can do some weird stuff. You saw it right there, and sometimes those end up going the other way, and you can lose all kinds of momentum. But, they're going to go victory, because I'd say they did win the first half of this ball game, but on it, there's 2 of them.
Yeah, that's right. But they'll certainly like the position they're in going into the locker room as Corbin Myers takes the snap, takes a knee, and that's going to do it for the first half tonight. It's opening night. It's been a successful opening night for the Spring Hill Broncos through half of it. 24-14, Spring Hill leads Louisburg as we have reached halftime here in Spring Hill. Coming up, the Leah Smith Agency Farmers Insurance halftime show. That's next here on Spring Hill Sports Live. It's a 10-point halftime advantage for your Spring Hill Broncos.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Your local farmer's insurance agent is Leah Smith. With more than 10 years of industry experience in both Kansas and Missouri, Leah is sure to customize the right plan for you. Her straightforward and personalized approach will help you better understand your coverage options. Stop on by at 159th and Merlin, right up the street in South Olathe, or call 913-221-0755. Leah Smith Agency Farmers Insurance, proudly serving Spring Hill and cheering on the Broncos.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Shop local and save at Price Chopper, your hometown grocery store in Spring Hill. Price Chopper has great everyday deals throughout the store. Enjoy hand-cut steaks from the meat department, the freshest fruits and vegetables from the produce aisle, and savor the flavors from the bakery. Check out their weekly ad to get the best deals on what you need, from apples to aspirin, Cool Whip to Cool Crisp lettuce. Plus, the Spring Hill Price Chopper is now your home for Dunkin' Donuts. Locally owned and operated, Price Chopper in Spring Hill. Open daily 6 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Open, flexible, and dedicated to our clients with impeccable customer support. That's why you choose Tri-Century Bank. Have your bank right in your hands with mobile banking, and manage your money from the comfort of your home with convenient online banking. Tri-Century is ideal for your business with competitive rates on loans and credit cards to help meet your goals. For 125 years, Tri-Century Bank has been serving Spring Hill. To learn more, join them for one of their monthly coffees. See upcoming events at tricentury.bank.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Halftime here in Spring Hill. It's a 24-14 lead for the Spring Hill Broncos on top of the Louisburg Wildcats, and pretty successful start to this ball game for the Spring Hill Broncos. And we will take a look now at our Eye on the Game as we recap this first half. The Eye on the Game is brought to you by White Cell Optometry Vision Source. Keep an eye on your child's screen time. If they're experiencing eye strain or headaches, it might be a good time for an exam. Make an appointment with White Cell Optometry and Vision Source by calling 913-592-2020. And be sure to ask about the 2020 rule. It's the Leah Smith Agency Farmers Insurance halftime show, and 24-14 lead here for Spring Hill, who scored first with 4:31 left in that opening half on a Myers to Klutz 26-yard touchdown pass. Made it 7-0 after the Bear Gardner kick. Spring Hill added a field goal in the next possession from Gardner to make it 10-0 with 1:12 to go in the first quarter. Second quarter, a lot of scoring happened there. Both teams found the end zone twice. Rutherford, a 1-yard touchdown run for Louisburg. They botched the extra point, though, made it 10-6 Spring Hill. Back-to-back touchdown, 4-yard touchdown runs from Zayd Barker at the 7:35 mark and the 2:02 mark. Both were capped by a Gardner extra point. At that point, 24-6 Spring Hill. And then Louisburg salvaged a little bit of momentum for them in that first half after what was otherwise a pretty dominant half by Spring Hill with a drive and a touchdown with 24 seconds left in the half on a 29-yard pass from Rutherford to Kuntz, who made the catch with inches to spare on the back line of the end zone. The two-point conversion run by Rutherford made it 24-14. That's where we stand here at the half.
I think it was a really good first half for Spring Hill, certainly taking advantage of what they do. That's the best part is, from an offensive standpoint, they're doing what they want to do. They're dictating the terms of how things are working for them offensively. On the defensive side of things, it's the same thing. That's the best part for Spring Hill. They're dictating the terms oftentimes, and the fact that Louisburg's biggest plays, one was a almost flukish touchdown throw, and then a big post play in the air as well. Those are their biggest plays. That's a good thing for you going into halftime, because they're the team that wants to ground and pound you. They want to have, take advantage of a big pop here or there in the running game. But you've got them grasping at straws a little bit. If you can maintain that in the second half and do what Coach Feeback's been talking about, finish, you're going to have a really good night to get things started here in 2019.
Well, Spring Hill just 2 wins since 2001 against Louisburg. Wildcats 16-2 against Spring Hill in the last 18 meetings, 2016, 2014. The years in there that Spring Hill picked up a win. And now here in 2019, things are looking up for them halfway through it as they lead 24-14. They did lead by 3 last year at halftime, Spring Hill did. Louisburg came out, and after a 3-and-out by their defense, they marched down the field on an 80-yard drive for a touchdown, which ended up being the game-winning touchdown because it was the only point scored in the second half and what ended up being a 21-17 final. So that's what Spring Hill's going to try to avoid. Granted, it'll take more than just one drive for Louisburg as they trail by 10 here at the half. But after watching that first half, I don't get the feel like this is a Spring Hill team that's going to come out and flat or come out and not produce second half. But there's the word finish, and that's what Coach Feeback's going to be preaching right now.
Yeah, that initial drive. Remember, Louisburg won the toss, so they deferred to the second half. They're going to get the ball coming out. That's why that last drive was so big for them to get in, because it's almost like to get back-to-back opportunities to touch the football. And so that first drive is going to be a big indicator how things are going to go in the second half.
Halftime in Spring Hill. It's the Broncos 24, the Wildcats of Louisburg 14. You're watching the Leah Smith Agency Farmers Insurance halftime show. More to come right after this on Spring Hill Sports Live.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
What if grass wasn't just for mowing? What if all the games weren't on TV? What if you saw the grandkids on more than just holidays? What if you got out of the house more often, maybe for good? Cedar Lake Village Senior Living. Life is how you live, not just where. To learn more, call 888-508-2022.
Primate Accounting Solutions in Spring Hill is here to help you and your business grow. From accounting services to tax planning, Prime Accounting is here to help you meet your goals and achieve your dreams. The accountants at Prime Accounting Solutions stay up to date on the latest news and information, ensuring the best options, services, and returns for you. Give Prime Accounting Solutions a call at 913-592-2050. Visit them at 408 North Webster in Spring Hill or go online to primeaccounting.net. Weitzel Optometry Vision Source has been the leader in optometry services and vision care in Spring Hill for more than 20 years. Weitzel Optometry offers comprehensive eye care, as well as the latest, most popular lenses and frames for Spring Hill and the surrounding communities. Experience modern eye care with advanced diagnostic technology and vision correction products. And with the experience of Doctors Weitzel and Bloodgood, you're sure to see the results you're looking for. To schedule your appointment, call Weitzel Optometry Vision Source at 913-592-2020.
Welcome back to the Leah Smith Agency Farmers Insurance halftime show. BJ Harris along with you at halftime as we see the Spring Hill High School Marching Band performing out there at midfield, doing a nice job of it. As we do, we'll welcome in the principal at Spring Hill High School, Mark Williams. And Mark, we're off and running here in this 2019-20 school year. Feel good about how things have kind of got off the ground here to begin the year?
Yeah, BJ, we've had a good start. We've been in school for about 3 weeks now. 826 kids walking the hallways this school year, and we're the largest we've been, and we'll probably say that for the next few years. But they're great kids, and it's a joy to get to be with them every single day and help them achieve what they want to do next in their life.
You talked about that growth and the challenges that maybe come to. Obviously, there's lots of opportunities as well, but some of the challenges and opportunities that come from that extensive growth that's been going on here in this district.
Yeah, challenges, just the hallways a little bit more crowded, but the opportunities are great. It allows us to expand our curriculum to meet the needs of our students, offer some classes new this year that we haven't had in the past, and some of our CTE courses and some of our honors courses and AP courses. So we're excited about what we have this year for our students.
Oftentimes what those challenges might be with facilities, but there's been an awful lot of foresight, it seems to me, being a guy who's just moved into the area of anticipation of what's to come.
Yeah, I have to give this to Dr. Burke, our superintendent, our school board. They foresaw this growth coming and went out and talked to our community and worked with a lot of community members and was able to pass a bond to expand the high school to help our capacity go up to 1,400, which is going to help with that. And it's awfully nice to be able to have some of that room still.
Well, we talk a lot about sports. Obviously, we're here for football. We've got volleyball on the docket. Some boys soccer is off and running as well, tennis and cross country and all that good stuff that we talk quite a bit about. But one of the great things, too, about having all those numbers and to be able to extend the curriculum, you get to extend your activities as well. Lots of great things to get involved for kids.
Yeah, there's a lot of good things. We just started our clubs this week because we just started Bronco Hour this week, which helps out for that. The fall musical has been announced, so we're going to start auditions for the fall musical here pretty soon. The band's been working hard, getting ready for their marching band contest coming up in the school year. So, yeah, we're very fortunate with what we can do.
Yeah, and it's every study you could ever possibly look at it. Kids who are involved in things, it just helps them out extensively down the line.
Yeah, that's the first thing we talk to these kids from when they're freshmen walk in. The more you're involved, the better off you're going to have, and these are going to be a fast 4 years, and let's make it an enjoyable time for you.
Well, I got you here. I got to tell you, the fantastic support we've gotten to get this thing off the ground here. Really appreciate it. As media guys, we're oftentimes kicked to the curb. We've been given everything we've been asked to do to get this thing off the ground, and we really appreciate all the support we've gotten from the district.
I tell you what, BJ, I can't thank you enough, you and your crew, for doing this. This gives us an opportunity to showcase our special kids we have here at Spring Hill and some of the great things we do, and more importantly, our wonderful facilities that we have here. So thank you very much for doing what you're doing.
Well, Coach Feeback's doing his part so far as well for the Broncos.
Let's keep it up. We need this victory.
Mark Williams, the principal at Spring Hill High School. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, BJ.
It's halftime here in this one. The Broncos lead the Louisburg Wildcats in most polls. The number 5 team in Class 4A. The Broncos are up by 10. We'll talk more about it when we return on the Leah Smith Agency Farmers Insurance Postgame Show on Spring Hill Sports Live.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Athletics is Spring Hill Sports Live. The Broncos hit the road for the first time next Friday night as they travel to Ottawa to take on the Cyclones. Our pregame coverage starts at 6:30, kickoff at 7. Catch every second of the action all season long on Spring Hill Sports Live. It's the Broncos and Cyclones next Friday night right here on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Are you looking for a trusted heating or air conditioning contractor in the Spring Hill area? Look no further than Comfort Designs. Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning has 100% NATE certified technicians who are friendly, knowledgeable, and ready to help. They'll care for your home and complete the job with speed and precision. Locally owned and operated for more than 20 years, Comfort Designs, Spring Hill's heating and air conditioning company. See all they have to offer at comfortdesigns.net or schedule your appointment at 913-592-4453.
Your local Farmers Insurance agent is Leah Smith. With more than 10 years of industry experience in both Kansas and Missouri, Leah is sure to customize the right plan for you. Her straightforward and personalized approach will help you better understand your coverage options. Stop on by at 159th and Merlin, right up the street in South Olathe, or call 913-221-0755. Leah Smith Agency, Farmers Insurance, proudly serving Spring Hill and cheering on the Broncos.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Back in live on the Leah Smith Agency Farmers Insurance halftime show in Spring Hill tonight. It's the Spring Hill Broncos 24 and the Louisburg Wildcats 14 at the break. And let's take a look at tonight's first half numbers, and we'll start on those team totals. Right now, Spring Hill outgaining Louisburg in total offense, 246 to 207. Broncos with the edge there on the ground. Louisburg, 143 rushing yards at a 5.5 yard per carry average. Spring Hill with 84 yards, but they have run it at a 6 yard per carry average. Through the air, Spring Hill, as we would have expected, they lead the passing category to this point, 162 yards through the air to 64 passing yards for Louisburg. The game has had just one turnover. That was a Louisburg fumble, which set up an eventual 3 points for Spring Hill as the Broncos were able to get a field goal, 26-yard field goal from Bear Gardner after the Charles Kuntz fumble, the game's lone turnover. Both teams have been pretty disciplined for an opening night ball game, just 3 penalties each way. The 3 Spring Hill penalties have cost them 35 yards, though, as they've had 2 15-yard penalties, a roughing the passer and a pass interference, and then an encroachment penalty in there as well. Louisburg, just 3 5-yard penalties, so a total of 15 penalty yards against Louisburg so far. Taking a look at the individual numbers, we'll start with the visiting Louisburg Wildcats. Their quarterback, Madden Rutherford, through the air, 5 of 11 for 64 yards. He started just 1 for his first 6, but he has completed 4 of his last 5 passes. Overall, 5 out of 11 for 64 yards and a touchdown. That one touchdown was a 29-yard completion to Charles Kuntz, his only catch, and he is their team's leading receiver at the break. Wes Getterman with 2 grabs, the only guy who's caught multiple passes. He's got 2 catches for 22 yards. Jay Scullin, 1 catch for 8 yards, and Michael Waldron, 1 catch for 5 yards. Their leading ball carrier was Benjamin Weideman, 14 carries, 72 yards, a 5.1 yard per carry average, but Weideman left the game just prior to halftime with a lower body injury, it appeared like, after a 4th down carry that he picked up 11 yards and moved the chains on. It was a costly 4th down conversion, though, as it cost Weideman the final plays of that first half. He had to have some assistance off the field. We'll see what Benjamin Weideman's status is for this second half, if they'll have his services or not. But he was their workhorse guy in the first half, 14 carries, 72 yards. Nobody else with more than 6 carries, and that would be the quarterback, Madden Rutherford, who carried 6 times for 44 yards and a touchdown. He also ran a 2-point conversion in, which doesn't count, of course, on the stats, but nevertheless part of the 24-14 score we've got here. Charles Kuntz, 5 carries for 26 yards. Most of his came early. He's one of the wing backs, and he had the majority of his work toting the football early on in the game. Colby Cateau, who came in to replace Weideman after the injury, carried just 1 time for 1 first-half yard. For the home Spring Hill Broncos, Corbin Myers through the air in this ballgame, 7 out of 13, 162 yards and a touchdown. And that touchdown from Myers went to Gage Klutz, his tight end, who's also his leading receiver in the first half, after 3 grabs for 78 yards and the touchdown. It was 26-yard touchdown strike back in the first quarter, the first points of the game. And those guys hooked up twice more in that first half on a couple of nice connections of 26, 18, and 34 yards. In total, 3 grabs, 78 yards, and a touchdown for the tight end, Gage Klutz. Zach Knowlton, 2 grabs for 72 yards. And Zade Barker caught 1 pass for 4 yards. Evan Letellier caught 1 pass for 8 yards. On the ground, Spring Hill was led by Zade Barker, who carried 9 times, tallying 52 yards on a 5.8 average with 2 first-half touchdowns. Both touchdowns came on 4-yard runs. He got 11 touchdowns for Spring Hill last year while amassing 858 yards. And he is off to a great start here in his senior season. 9 carries, 52 yards, and 2 first-half touchdowns. Zach Knowlton carried twice for 15 yards, and Corbin Myers registered 3 rushing attempts for a total of 17 yards. He had 25 on 1 rush, lost 8 on a sack. And then had a no-gain run, so a 3-carry, 17-yard first half there on the ground for Myers. But again, overall, Spring Hill outgaining Louisburg 246 to 207. Both teams winning the category that they are supposed to, if you will, as Louisburg, the run-heavy team, outgaining Spring Hill 143 to 84 on the ground, while Spring Hill, more of the spread pass attack, outgaining Louisburg through the air 162 to 64. On the scoreboard, it's 24-14. The Spring Hill Broncos on top of the Louisburg Wildcats here at halftime. The halftime show is presented by Leah Smith Agency Farmers Insurance. Leah has over 10 years of industry experience in both Kansas and Missouri. To learn more, call 913-221-0755. Just up the street at 159th and Merlin. Leah Smith Agency Farmers Insurance, proudly serving Spring Hill and cheering on the Broncos. Take a quick timeout. More on the halftime show coming up next. You're watching Spring Hill Bronco football opening night here on Spring Hill Sports Live. It's the Broncos 24 and Louisburg 14.
Are you looking for a trusted heating or air conditioning contractor in the Spring Hill area? Look no further than Comfort Designs. Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning has 100% NATE certified technicians who are friendly, knowledgeable, and ready to help. They'll care for your home and complete the job with speed and precision. Locally owned and operated for more than 20 years, Comfort Designs, Spring Hill's heating and air conditioning company. See all they have to offer at comfortdesigns.net or schedule your appointment at 913-592-4453.
Shop local and save at Price Chopper, your hometown grocery store in Spring Hill. Price Chopper has great everyday deals throughout the store. Enjoy hand-cut steaks from the meat department, the freshest fruits and vegetables from the produce aisle, and savor the flavors from the bakery. Check out their weekly ad to get the best deals on what you need, from apples to aspirin, Cool Whip to cool crisp lettuce. Plus, the Spring Hill Price Chopper is now your home for Dunkin' Donuts. Locally owned and operated, Price Chopper in Spring Hill. Open daily 6 a.m. to 10 p.m.
A great collision on the field? Awesome. An awesome collision on the road? Not so great. If that bad play does come your way, take your car to Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center. As Kansas City's premier auto collision repair center, they work on all makes and models, even RV, marine, aviation, motorcycles, and more. Shoemaker Collision offers free estimates and loaners, plus they will work with all insurance companies. Get your ride back in the game. Learn more at shoemakercollision.com or call 913-592-0095.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Halftime in Spring Hill. It's the Spring Hill Broncos 24, Louisburg Wildcats 14 on the Leah Smith Agency Farmers Insurance halftime show. Taking a look at a few of the other scores around the Frontier League tonight. Piper with a 19-0 lead over Eudora at halftime. That game features two teams, both with second-year head coaches, and Piper with the shutout so far through one half of football in that one. Paola, 35-7. They lead Bonner Springs. I think most people had Paola and Louisburg in one way or the other, the top two teams picked in this Frontier League. But Spring Hill may be opening a few eyes as one of those teams, Louisburg, down 10 to the Broncos here at halftime in this one. But Paola doing what many expected them to do to Bonner Springs tonight. They've got a 35-7 halftime lead in that ball game. Tonganoxie, 28-14 lead over Basel Linwood. And that game featuring two teams that Toggy with a 7-3 team last year. Basel-Lynn with a 10-win team last year. So a 28-14 lead for Tonganoxie. Baldwin and Ottawa in the Frontier League. Ottawa, they've lost 16 straight. Week 2 of the 2017 season, the last win for the Cyclones. That's who Spring Hill gets next Friday night for their first road test. And in that one at halftime, it's Baldwin 14 and Ottawa 12. Baldwin, first-year head coach David Bowen, taking over the program there for the Bulldogs, and they've got a 2-point halftime lead over Ottawa in that ball game. And that's I guess, a sweep on the Frontier League scores for you here. So a couple of close games in there. This one certainly falls into that category as well, with Spring Hill on top of Louisburg 24-14 here at halftime. All right, well, I think second half is about ready to get underway as Spring Hill will be kicking off to Louisburg to start this second half.
I think for Spring Hill, I think, like I said earlier, going into this halftime, this first drive, if they can get them forced to a 3-and-out, that's going to be huge for the Broncos' confidence and momentum, because even though they should have all the momentum and they built up the leverage in that first half, that last score puts that inkling of doubt perhaps back in their mind. Certainly the guys who were here a year ago, whenever they maybe squandered that, so they did squander that second half lead, hopefully they get things started off on the right foot.
So the kicking unit onto the field, Bear Gardner, will kick things off for Spring Hill again to get this second half underway. And again, I've not looked out there to see if Benjamin Weideman, what his status may or may not be. We'll know right away when this Louisburg offense takes the field, but they lost him to an injury late in that first half, in the final minute, in fact, of that first half. And he was their top guy in the half as far as offensive production, 14 carries, 72 yards. So we'll know right away the offense for Louisburg will be first out. A 24-14 lead for Spring Hill, and the second half is underway as Gardner sends the kick back to the 5-yard line. Caught on a back pedal by Kuntz. He'll work his way up the near hash mark and out to the 27 or 8-yard line before he is stopped by a host of Spring Hill defenders. And it looked like Carson Downs, who's been on multiple special teams tackles tonight for Spring Hill, there to lead the way.
In order for this defense to do what I just said a moment ago of forcing a 3-and-out, they've got to continue to get penetration up front. That front four has done a really nice job of holding the line, not letting them push them off the line of scrimmage. That's the MO for an option team, is get a push up front, get them off the line of scrimmage, and then in the secondary, you've got to stay home. Don't get caught looking in the backfield. They did all those things in the first half, aside from a couple of breakdowns. If they can continue that, they're going to have themselves a really good opening night.
So it is Cateau who is the tailback to start the second half, who came in and replaced Weideman late in the first half, and that will be a big factor perhaps in the second half. And this might also, as the first play of the second half is a snap between the legs of Rutherford out of the shotgun, and it rolls all the way back to the 13-yard line. He was able to fall back on top of it, but they lose 16 yards, and they are immediately in a terrible situation. Second down and 26.
I forgot to warn you about my ball call. My 18th year of broadcasting, it's completely unprofessional. But when you get that ingrained in your brain as a defensive lineman, when the ball hits the ground, it's primordial. I mean, I can't get rid of it. It's in there, and it's always going to be there. And that ball goes loose, you just
all good.
Ball, go get the ball.
Yep.
BJ, go get ball.
Second down and 26 for Louisburg. Back at their own 13-yard line now as we're just underway in the second half. This time a snap back to Rutherford is clean, and Dominic had him initially, got away from the grasp of Aaron Dominic, but the pursuit is there to swallow up Rutherford at the 14-yard line. It's just a 1-yard gain. It'll bring up third down and 25.
From a fundamental standpoint, Aaron Dominic, hold that edge, keep that outside arm free, maintain leverage up into your offensive player, get him off of you a little bit with your one hand, keep that hand free. That's what happened. Gets a hold of the quarterback, and his brothers come and help him out. That was ideal.
And if I'm not mistaken, that was 32 Benjamin Weideman. It is, who has come back into the ballgame now. So Weideman did not start this series. He was the guy that got hurt for him late in the first half, but he is back on the field now on a third down and 25 with 10.5 minutes left, third quarter. Rutherford looking to throw. Takes a deep shot for Getterman, and that ball is caught at the 50-yard line by Getterman. Powell was the coverage guy for Spring Hill, but Getterman just went up high, pointed it on a jump ball, and makes the catch just across midfield. They'll mark it down at the 49-yard line as they pick up 37 yards on a third down and long.
Yeah, Getterman came to bang up. He came straight down on that backside. It was a penalty flag all the way back down to the 36. So this might be a factor in things.
And they're talking. Well, maybe he wasn't talking. He was just trying to weave his way through the Spring Hill or the Louisburg huddle, and they're going to wave off the flag. So
somebody forgot to secure their flags earlier.
He had a few BBs in there. Waited too much. Fell out on him. Cinch it up.
Man, that's a tough play there, man. Got him backed against the grain.
Yeah. Well, still plenty of time to make a stop, though, as they are just across midfield. Opening possession of the second half for Louisburg. Scullin goes in motion for Rutherford. Now works his way back to where he started, and they'll give it to Cateau off the right side to the 45-yard line for 4. So Weideman came in for one play. Cateau back in there, and that'll be something to certainly keep an eye on here is how much, if all Weideman is used, is he a decoy at this point? Is he going to be able to actually produce for him? He's walking around on the far sideline trying to stay loose, whether it was a lower body injury of some sort, but he's apparently good enough to give it a shot anyway. Second down and 6. Ball to the 45 of Spring Hill. Rutherford sends a motion man from the left slot and gives it up to Cateau in a short gain. Maybe a yard to the 44.
You know, another thing I'm noticing with this Spring Hill defense is they're headsy, they're intelligent. You can tell them they're making decisions pre-snap, watching the motion in the backfield. They've done film study. They've watched and seen tendencies. If that guy goes in motion that direction, here's what they're going to do. Here's what they're likely to do. And they've been able to react. That overcomes. That helps you maybe make a half step sooner where you're supposed to be when you can anticipate like that.
Weideman back into the backfield again. He stands just off the left hip of his quarterback, Rutherford. Now he'll switch sides to the right on a 3rd and 5 from the 44-yard line. Quick throw out to Getterman. Out in the flats of the left side, and quick to rally the football, Brady Larson. He made sure Getterman got nothing after the catch. They're going to throw a late flag on that tackle. They drove Getterman down to the ground, and it drew the penalty flag, which would appear to be a personal foul against Spring Hill.
I'm sure the Spring Hill coaching staff's argument, where's the whistle? Did they blow the whistle? It's so far away, we wouldn't have been able to hear it up here, but that is a tough break, man. You hold on 3rd down and then have a little bit of a mental breakdown by not
and they are going to call it the personal foul against Spring Hill. So a no gain on 3rd and 5 ends up turning into a first down after the 15-yard penalty.
It's the least convincing personal foul call from what I've ever seen. I'm not sure if he's even completely sure. And then Laundry continues to stay out there at the 49.
Well, Spring Hill's been penalized only 4 times tonight, but 3 of the 4 penalties have been 15-yard penalties.
And not just 15-yard penalties. I mean, the one was a crucial one. Yeah, they've been not very well timed either. Well, not that there's always a good time for a penalty, but
certainly worse times than others, and that was one of them. So a 1st and 10 now at the 29-yard line for Louisburg with 8:10 and counting left in this third quarter. This is the opening drive of the second half for Louisburg, now 4 minutes old. Low snap, and he gets it back up to Justin Collins, and Collins is tripped up by Stovall at the 23-yard line. Touchdown saving tackle perhaps for Stovall. That's a 6-yard run for Justin Collins, who didn't get the ball at all in the first half, but here in the second half, he has started as one of those wing guys, and they've faked it to him a couple of times. This time they go ahead and give it to another guy who was on that state 4x4 championship track team, so he's got some speed. Right there, Stovall was able to cut him down after 6.
That was a hot potato from the quarterback. Low snap, and he just barely even touched it for a second, flipped it up there. Dangerous on his part.
4.5 minutes old on the drive for Louisburg as they are at the 23 of Spring Hill, 2nd down and 4. Again, that's Collins, the motion man. Cateau gets it straight up the gut. A yard or 2 is all as Jacob Stovall along with Carson Downs, make the stop for Spring Hill. It's a gain of 2 to the 21, so third down and a yard or so, maybe 2 coming up here for Louisburg.
Well, right now Louisburg dictating the terms of things. This is what the drive that they would like. Now they're approaching beyond the 5-minute mark of this drive, and that's the kind of football they want to play. And Spring Hill's going to have to bow up. Now they've given them a little bit, obviously. It should have been 4th down and 5 back near the midfield line, but a penalty has put them in this situation. And so can they dig themselves out of it here?
6.5 to go, third quarter. 10 guys all
delay game
around the football on the snap. Penalty flag flew in from the back judge, which is a good sign for a delay game, but they're going to say a timeout was called. The far line judge is coming in and saying a timeout was taken. So the timeout saves 5 yards, and a critical 5 yards perhaps on a 3rd down and 2 coming up with 6:24 left in the third quarter. Opening drive of the second half for Louisburg. And so far I think things have gone well, BJ, but now stats computer just crashed on me.
30% complete.
Yeah, what do you know? Well, let's hope that that the Spring Hill defense calls up something better than my computer just called up with this big 3rd down coming up here. I would guess this is a go-for-it situation, so even if they would fail on this 3rd down, you're probably going to need 2 stops right here if you're the Spring Hill defense. They've been up to the task so far tonight, though, on multiple occasions.
Yeah, that delay game, that would have been a nice one. That would have backed them up, made this a 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 7 instead of 3rd and 2. But they're making them earn it a little bit. But again, it's taking up some time, which right now when you've got a 10-point lead, you're kind of okay with that. But based on the final drive of the first half and the first drive of the second half, things are starting to change in favor of a team that went all the way to the state semifinals a year ago. And so you don't want to let them get some momentum going downhill, because then they can be really tough to stop.
Yeah, it feels like forever, because it has been forever in real time since Spring Hill's run an offensive play, if you don't count the kneel down that they had to close out the first half. So they're in need of a stop to get this football back with the offense, who was really clicking. I mean, they scored 4 times in the first half and only failed to score two possessions in the first half, but they've not been on the field. The defense trying to get off the field here on a 3rd down and 2 from the 21-yard line of Spring Hill. Rutherford's got Cateau behind him. Big play. The snap back to Rutherford. Delayed handoff to Cateau, and he is hit right at the line of scrimmage. The push down to the 20. I think they're short by just a hair.
Yep, about a half yard. That initial far side judge gave him a little bit more than a near side guy, and they pulled it back to the 20.
So the ball's right at the 20. It looks like the first down marker is about splitting a difference between the 20 and the 19. So this is going to be a 4th and about a half yard for Louisburg with just under 6 minutes left in the third quarter. A long opening drive to start the second half for the Louisburg Wildcats. And this started, by the way, with a loss of 16 on their first snap. But they have rebounded nicely after that. And now on a 4th down and a half yard to go. Rutherford keeps it himself with a quarterback sneak. He's got plenty of a push as he's down near the 15. Whether he ended up down at about the 16. Line judge has him marked back at the 18. Either way, it's still plenty enough for a first down. So Rutherford gets 2 yards credited to his rushing total. He's now up over 30 yards of the ball game, but that's a big 2 yards because it moves the chains.
Yeah, at Spring Hill, it doesn't appear that they've got like a 50 front or something. They bring a goal line front on that situation because they just ran the straight 4-man front. Maybe something to look into if they don't have it in the package, that you'd like to go a little bit bigger up front when they go big up front, and you kind of know that's coming.
Good news, Stat Computer's back. 5 minutes left, third quarter. 7-minute drive here for Louisburg, but there's whistles before that snap. The ball again was snapped between the legs of Rutherford, but there's an encroachment penalty against Louisburg. At least that was the signal from the far line judge who came in and threw that flag. And it is against, it's a neutral zone infraction against Louisburg. So one of the Louisburg linemen must have lined up in the neutral zone. So that's
the most fortunate penalty you can ever get on a lineman, is
You mentioned there's not a good time hardly ever for a penalty. That was one right there.
Yeah,
we just had one of the very few.
Golly, they've gotten real lucky on a few plays in this drive that is trying to take up the entire quarter.
Yeah, this is you mentioned it, this is the type of drive teams who run these wing option style offenses. This is a dream drive for them, but it's only that way if they capitalize for points. And Spring Hill now has them back behind the chains at a 1st and 15. Rutherford takes a shot into the end zone, but two receivers right in the same area. He was trying to hook up with Scollin. Getterman was right there as well, and now Rutherford is down. I
think it's a cramp.
I didn't think he even got hit there, but
I think it's a cramp.
Which that's the good alternative to something else, but anybody who's had the cramps know that you get a calf cramp or something like that, those are not comfortable either.
A cramp or a stinger. The first time you get a stinger when you make a tackle, you're convinced you're never going to walk.
Yeah.
And
they're bringing out the Gatorade or the water here for the quarterback, Madden Rutherford, who's up on his feet.
He's going to have to come out. They stopped the play. They stopped playing. Unless they take a timeout here, he's going to have to come out of the game. He was trying to stay in and walk it off a little bit. But
well, I think they may have taken the timeout. Because, yeah, you're right. I mean, there's only one option to keep him in the game. Now he's slammed his helmet down on the far sideline. He's just mad that of the circumstance here, having to cause him to take a timeout if that's indeed what they had to have at this point, right? I mean, I've never seen anybody signal timeout yet, but I mean, I suppose they could be calling this just an official's timeout still for an injury and not charging one to Louisburg. The guys all ran to the sideline like as if it were. But
they've charged one to him on the scoreboard.
Okay, they did. Okay.
I don't know who their backup quarterback is, but it's not the best case scenario. Certainly with some of the snapping issues we've seen on this drive. Number 5.
Well, the backup is Maverick Rockers. So Rockers comes into the ball game on a 2nd and 15. Rockers just a sophomore coming in for their 3rd-year starting quarterback, Madden Rutherford, on a big play here. 2nd and 15 at the 23-yard line of Spring Hill on a drive that's now 7.5 minutes old to start the second half. Rockers gets the clean snap, hands it off to Cateau right behind him, but nothing there for Colby Cateau. That defensive front for Spring Hill, Carson Downs, along with Aaron Dominic, and it was also Logan Greenhall in there to make the tackle for Spring Hill. That's a big stop because now you got 3rd and 14. I mean, their backup quarterback, they're thinking, let's just get something positive to not get further behind the chains, but they only got a couple out of it.
And Rutherford's going to come back into the ball game, but he's not 100%. They don't ask a ton of him from the running game, want him to distribute, but he's still limping a little bit with that cramp in that right calf.
3rd down and 13 from the Spring Hill 21-yard line. Over 8 minutes on this drive to open the second half. Rutherford on a little shovel pass forward to Scollin, but not fooled was the Spring Hill defensive front again.
Again, staying home on that far side and everybody to come help. That's what happened there.
Jackson rounds on, and Jacob Stovall, 2 of the linebackers, were able to make that tackle and shut that down for just a 3-yard run.
And they make that tackle because the DN was able to maintain that outside contain. They cut back in there, and those guys run it, and nobody's getting to the second level either. So a huge 4th down. I'm telling you what, Spring Hill gets out of this drive, and they don't score here on this field goal attempt, a 35-yarder, huge.
Drake Varnes, the kicker. And the snap again comes in low to Rutherford. It's a low kick as well by Varnes, but he splits the uprights. So a field goal from 35 from Drake Varnes, their senior kicker, is good to close it to a single-score game. That was a 9-minute drive to start the second half for Louisburg, and they get 3 out of it, 24-17 Spring Hill on top of Louisburg here on Spring Hill Sports Live.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
When it comes to protecting your family, home, and business, look to a local, community-minded agent. In Spring Hill, that's Allstate agent Libby Clark. With more than 15 years of industry experience, Libby and her team are committed to providing a customized family protection plan that fits your needs. A full-service agency, Libby Clark offers a broad range of insurance and financial services, building relationships with a focus on helping their neighbors. That's the Libby Clark Agency. Visit them on the southeast corner of 223rd and Harrison in Spring Hill.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
An 8-minute and 59-second drive to open up the second half for the Louisburg Wildcats, but it ends in only 3. Drake Varnes, a 35-yard field goal, gets something out of it for Louisburg, but Spring Hill taking a little bit of positive nature from that with the stop to hold to just the field goal. And here's the kickoff fielded by Dom Shearer back inside of his own 10-yard line, stays on his feet down the sideline, takes a big hit out of bounds at the 42. Nice return by Shearer, and that sets up Spring Hill's offense with great field position as they try to answer that nearly 9-minute drive by Louisburg.
Yeah, special teams, a big factor in this ball game. It started with that opening punt that pinned Louisburg deep. They able to run down the field and march down the field, but special teams have been a factor. That field goal a moment ago to pull it to within a touchdown. That's what happens early in these games. We talked about limiting your mistakes. Spring Hill's been bit by some of those with penalties, untimely penalties. But now go to work offensively. It's been an hour since they've touched the ball.
Corbin Myers in the pistol. They'll run option near side. The pitch to Barker. It's handled by Zaid, but he's pushed out with a short gain. They're only a couple of yards after Weston Getterman knocked him out of bounds.
You run that to the short side of the field. He kind of ran out of real estate. The reason you do that, you're trying to take advantage of numbers on the near side. When you stretch things out, if they're running their strong side to the field, which is the wide side, then you think you're going to be outnumbered. Just well played by Louisburg.
Spring Hill scored on 4 of their 6 first-half possessions, not counting the final one-play kneel-down possession. And like you mentioned, though, it's been an hour, good hour, since they've actually run a meaningful snap. Myers on the rollout goes off the shoulder pads of his tight end Klutz, who's had a great first half, and that ball would have been right at the sticks for a first down, but Klutz let it get right through the hands and off the shoulder pads, incomplete. Brings up 3rd and 9.
Well, after an 8-minute drive, the last thing you want is a 3-and-out. I mean, that's crucial right here for Spring Hill. Pick up a first down. That would have done it. Just you got to look that ball in. I think he saw that he was about a yard shy of the sticks. Probably was thinking, I need to get it. And as soon as that thought goes through your mind, you're not going to get it.
Big 3rd down. Ball on their own 44-yard line after the great return by Shearer. They've got to get 9 to keep this drive going. 2 receivers bunched each side. And they'll give it to Knowlton out of the slot, but he's driven down to the backfield. Great play coming in off the outside by Andrew Hupp. And he shut down that in a hurry, knocking Knowlton back to the 40, a 4-yard loss. And on 4th and 13, the punting team will come on for Spring Hill.
Well, I can tell you this. If you're looking at the body language of the Broncos, you'd think they're down by 3 scores. And that just goes back to the way things ended in the first half, the way they started in the second half. You're going to have to mentally check yourself back into this ball game. You're still up by a touchdown against a team that's ranked in the top 5. So you should feel good about yourselves. Just got to get back going defensively now.
Downs to punt it away Greenhall to punt it away for Spring Hill. And it is caught at the 15-yard line by Kuntz. Makes one man miss and is brought down out at about the 28-yard line. So they went on a long 8-minute, 59-second drive last time they had it for Louisburg, which started with a 16-yard loss on a bad snap. They converted with a long pass play on a 3rd and forever. They got 37, and that put it in motion to get down into the red zone before they stalled out again. A penalty hurting them in the end. A one-play absence from their quarterback, Madden Rutherford, from a cramp, kind of put the stall on it, but they got 3 to close within a touchdown, and now they'll take over with 1:51 left in the 3rd on their own 28-yard line.
Quite a few of these guys play both ways, so it's kind of irrelevant, but the few that don't were just getting a drink, like literally just getting to a cup to be able to take a drink when they're like, what, we got to go back out there? And so that's another thing. You start getting hot, and the Berg's going to have to take another timeout. They're going to be down to 1.
They had trouble getting the personnel in there, and Rutherford, their quarterback, took a long time to get onto the field as well. So they are down to 1 timeout now with 1:51 seconds left still in the 3rd quarter, trailing by a touchdown. Spring Hill still with their full complement of touchdowns. And let's take a look here at the upcoming fall broadcast schedule here on Spring Hill Sports Live. You see next week on the road for their first road game of the season, a visit to Ottawa for the football team, and then our first volleyball action coming up the Thursday after with that home triangular for the Spring Hill volleyball team that's off to a 4-0 start this year. Football back at home for Bonner Springs on the 20th. That's the homecoming game for Spring Hill. Then they visit Paola, who was rolling Bonner Springs at halftime of their game earlier tonight. DeSoto comes to town on October 4th. That game will be the football senior night for Spring Hill. Then a Spring Hill volleyball tournament coming up on October 5th here on Spring Hill Sports Live. Back-to-back road games for the football team on the 11th and 18th at Tonky and at Piper. Then the soccer team hosting DeSoto on October 24th. We'll carry that one live for you here on Spring Hill Sports Live. The next night, Baldwin visits town for the football. That's the non-football player senior night. For the other fall activities here, the cheerleaders, the band, that's their senior night that night. So that's the upcoming schedules. We're back to live action here on a 1st and 10 to start the second possession of the second half for Rutherford and Louisburg. And they've got a jailbreak down the left side, wide open, and he missed him. The throw was just a bit too far, and Colby Cateau got a left hand on it but could not haul it in, and that was wide open to the end zone if that ball was caught.
That was the first real breakdown of the secondary, getting caught, thinking first down, starting inside their own 30. They're certainly going to run it, and that guy got behind him in a big way. And he kind of he didn't get off the line real clean, I don't think, and that put him a little bit behind where he should have been.
Big missed chance for Louisburg, and a big second chance now for Spring Hill as they get away with one. 1:45 left in the third. Spring Hill 24, Louisburg 17. A 9-minute, nearly 9-minute, 8-minute, 59-second drive open in the second half for Louisburg. This is just their second possession of the half as we're under 2 to go in the third. They're going to again try a deep shot. This time Getterman the intended target, but it's off his fingertips and incomplete as he had a step on Williard, but unable to haul it in down to the 40 of Spring Hill.
Completely perplexed by the play calling. I mean, I get it. You saw the one. He was wide open. It's kind of fluky to be that far wide open. I mean, complete breakdown. Bank it on him, do it again. That's pretty unlikely. Although, that ball was put in a pretty good spot. But, now you're looking at 3rd down and 10. I mean, they were gashing them on the play calls the last possession. Just haven't stuck to what they did then.
Well, and after having that Spring Hill defense out there for so long, the last thing you want to do is come out and give them 2 quick plays like that. I mean, you'd think you'd want to go out there and 3 yards in a cloud of dust, as you've talked about, and keep wearing them down. But now they've got 3rd and 10, and Rutherford again will look to go to the air. Getterman makes the catch at the 36, made the first man miss, and is out to the 45-yard line. Tackle made by Wyatt Dickey. That initial tackle attempt by Powell would have been right at the markers, but Getterman made that a moot point as he was able to step through that tackle and pick up a first down at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, one of the toughest things to do. You played in the secondary, that one-on-one when you're on an island like that, to make that tackle, break down, and make it all by yourself. That's not real easy, and the advantage goes to the wide receiver in those situations.
5th catch for 77 yards for Wes Getterman. He moves the chains on 3rd down, so now it's 1st and 10 on their own 45, 1:20 and counting left, 3rd quarter. Weideman is the running back who hasn't touched it despite being in after that injury in the first half. Shovel pass up forward to Kuntz, and he's out to the 49-yard line. I'll check that. Collins, not Kuntz. Dickey and Stovall. Larson helping out on the tackle as well for Spring Hill. 4 yards, brings up 2nd and 6, a yard shy of midfield.
Spring Hill needs somebody to make a play. They need to get a little bit more energy into that defense. Defense is just so much about energy and excitement and just kind of playing wild. And right now they're thinking a little too much, I think. I think their back's against the wall slightly. Again, they've still got the lead. It doesn't feel that way right now, but they've got the lead, and they need to play like it. And somebody needs to come up with a big play and change some momentum.
Louisburg gets to the line with 8 on the play clock. Rutherford scans the 3-4 defense of Spring Hill. Low snap, but Rutherford's able to gather it. He's got time, and now he's a little gimpy trying to run out of the pocket. Ends up throwing it into the cheerleaders. And he had that cramp earlier, and right there you could tell he wanted to get up and go, but he just had no get up and go.
They're going to discuss whether this is intentional grounding. I would suspect they say he's well out of the tackle box. The rule is you got to get out of the tackle box and it's got to go past the line of scrimmage. It did both of those things, and I don't suspect they're going to call an intentional grounding here.
Officials still in discussion over the play. If nothing comes of this discussion, it'll bring up a 3rd and 6 for Louisburg. 19 seconds remains in the 3rd quarter. I feel like we just started the second half, But because of that really long drive, it just has drained this third quarter, and we're in the waning moments of it. So no penalty, just an incomplete pass. And now 3rd down and 6. Big play here, just shy of midfield. Spring Hill, the fans getting into it here a little bit to trying to urge on their defense. Quick snap to Rutherford, and perhaps it was too quick.
They're going to blow it dead. They never reset the play clock. No official, again, defending the clock. No official indicated to stop the play clock. While they were discussing all that, not one waved it off to say, hey, stop the clock, we're going to have a conversation. And then when they decided to go back to play, nobody said, hey, start the 25-second clock. So that's early season, game management things you get worked out as things go on. There we go.
So they'll reset to 25, start the play clock, and now Rutherford brings his squad to the line and facing a big 3rd down and 6 with 17 seconds to go in the third quarter. Spring Hill holding out to a 7-point lead here at home on opening night. Rutherford gets a low shotgun snap. Looks to the left, throws for Getterman. He's got it at the first down. Sticks again, spins out of an attempted tackle down the sideline and nearly ripping the ball free from him at the 21-yard line. But an injured player for Spring Hill as well, who almost had that ball ripped out of there.
Yeah, he was the one ripping at it.
I can't see the number for Spring Hill on the far sideline. But he is also shaken up on the play, unfortunately. So they take that ball all the way down to the 21-yard line. It's
the cushion they've been giving him in the secondary is leading to those big plays. They're just not quite playing a lot of press, and that's what you mentioned, the speed on the edge. Those guys are part of a state championship team, so they've got in the track. So they've got some speed. You just want to be able to play a little bit tighter on the edge and not let guys get underneath you like they just did, and then go back to tackling. You've got to make that tackle right there at the point of attack.
We're going to step aside here with 6 seconds left in the third quarter. Spring Hill on top of Louisburg 24-17 while they tend to the injured Bronco, and we'll try to catch a number as well when we come back. You're watching Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Weitzel Optometry Vision Source has been the leader in optometry services and vision care in Spring Hill for more than 20 years. Weitzel Optometry offers comprehensive eye care, as well as the latest, most popular lenses and frames for Spring Hill and the surrounding communities. Experience modern eye care with advanced diagnostic technology and vision correction products. And with the experience of Doctors Weitzel and Bloodgood, you're sure to see the results you're looking for. To schedule your appointment, call Weitzel Optometry Vision Source at 913-592-2020.
Back live here at Spring Hill High School. Wyatt Dickey was the injured Bronco, and he is able to walk off the field under his own power. You can see him there coming off to the sideline. So that's a great sight to see Dickey able to get off the field without any assistance. One of the starting middle linebackers, a senior for Spring Hill. And clock winds after that, and so now we've reached the end of the quarter. So we'll be right back. It's 24-17. Spring Hill leads Louisburg as we go to the fourth on Spring Hill Sports Live.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Elliott Insurance Group is a proud supporter of Spring Hill and USD 230. At Elliott Insurance Group, we work, live, and shop in our local communities, serving Miami and Johnson counties for more than 45 years. Elliott Insurance Group understands your needs. As an independent insurance agency, Elliott Insurance Group works with numerous carriers to find the coverage that best fits your needs. In Spring Hill, call 913-592-5552 or visit elliottInsuranceGroup.com.
Your home for Bronco Athletics is Spring Hill Sports Live. The Broncos hit the road for the first time next Friday night as they travel to Ottawa to take on the Cyclones. Our pregame coverage starts at 6:30, kickoff at 7. Catch every second of the action all season long on Spring Hill Sports Live. It's the Broncos and Cyclones next Friday night right here on Spring Hill Sports Live.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
We head to the fourth quarter here in Spring Hill tonight, along with B.J. Harris and Caden Carbajo. I'm Bryce Kessler. It's been a great opening night of football action, a fun one here between Spring Hill and Louisburg, and it's the Spring Hill Broncos on top of Louisburg 24-17 as we start the fourth quarter. Louisburg with the football, first down and 10 at the Spring Hill 21, down a touchdown and looking to knot things up. Madden Rutherford, the quarterback, takes a low snap, shuffles it forward to Justin Collins, and Justin Collins scoots his way all the way into the end zone. 21-yard touchdown run. The speedster Justin Collins has made it an extra point away from a tie ball game.
Well, I've talked all night long about discipline and maintaining, doing what you're supposed to do on the edge to maintain the edge. And for probably just the first time tonight, Jackson Rounds got sucked inside on the action. And once they got to outside of his contain, just nobody there. And then your inside linebacker was a starter, had to come out because of an injury. He's not there to scrape off the edge and contain things. They've done a nice job on that particular play all night long. But that's the thing about Louisburg. They'll just keep coming at you. Another cramp situation, I think.
Yeah, it's opening night, and it's late on opening night, and that's when this kind of stuff starts happening.
I had to go up and down the stairs twice during halftime.
Don't admit
this.
I've
got some cramp.
Don't admit that.
I may have some cramping going on. I hydrated, though, all day. I was really good. I made sure to hydrate. It's not as hot as it could be. I played opening nights.
Yeah.
One, it's a week later than it typically is, it seems, with things in here in the second week or first week in September, when a lot of times it's at the end of August, and that 1 week sometimes makes a big difference. And it's cooled off. Nice little breeze outside. But
it was the touchdown man, Justin Collins, who was cramped over there. But he's off the field under his own power. And Drake Barnes is on for a very important extra point try. This to tie it up out of the hold of Rutherford. They've botched one already tonight. And this one by Barnes is...
He missed it. No, he got it.
No, he was in there. Yep, chipped in for the extra point to tie things up at 24 all. Good one here in Spring Hill tonight.
Took a minute on that one. I thought thought somebody got there and got a piece of it, but just barely missed it.
So Varnes ties it up, 24-24, and believe it or not, with 11:53 left to play in the ball game, Spring Hill's run 3 plays of offense in this second half.
Right, and that's tough, and it's a rhythm offense too. It was no surprise in the first half how they scored on 4 consecutive drives because it's a rhythm offense. Things are going well. You're hitting them. You're finding space. All that good stuff, plus stuff we talked about in the first half or pregame about how it takes a while to adjust for Louisburg. Even Coach admitted that it takes a little while for them to adjust. They've adjusted a little bit because they're just holding on to the football and not giving that offense a chance.
Yeah, they have. That's their proper word. Not a chance. I mean, you've run 3 plays. I don't know how much adjustments they've been able to make to the passing attack of Spring Hill because we haven't even had the opportunity to really see it. So this becomes a very important drive upcoming for the Spring Hill offense. Varnes will kick it off with Shear along with Knowlton back deep for Spring Hill. They had a great return last time from Shear, but it was only the start of a 3-and-out drive. And Shear will take it off a bounce at the 10. Works up the near hash back to the 20-yard line. The ball might have come out, and it's just stopped, though. If it did, Shear got it back up. The reaction from the far sideline, I thought maybe that the ball came out, but maybe they were just cheering to a good stop back at the 20-yard line. It'll be a long field ahead for Spring Hill. In a tie ball game, though, as you mentioned a couple times, BJ, they've got the body language like a team trailing, but even after all that's not gone well for them in the second half, they're still right here with the football in a tie game.
Yeah, you got an opportunity here. You got to strike. You got to strike back. You got to continue to fight a little bit. You can see the reaction of the crowd across the ways too. That's a team that's used to coming back in games and winning games and having success and all that good stuff. Spring Hill can make that stop with a nice offensive drive right here.
A 10-0 edge in the second half for Louisburg. Zaid Barker gets it on first down. The handoff came up at his face mask. It was a little bit of an awkward exchange with Myers, but Barker able to get a hold of the football and take it out to the 26-yard line. They're going to mark it actually the 27. So it's a solid first down run for Barker, 7 yards. He's up to 60 yards on 11 carries for the ball game with a couple of touchdowns.
Nice block on the edge by the tight end, Gage Klutz. He's had a good ball game in the passing game, but he's asked primarily to do some blocking up front. He did a nice job sealing the edge.
Second down. 3 yards to go. They say on the scoreboard, and they'll give it again to Barker. Closer to a 4 yards needed, and he's going to get all of that and some as Barker pinballs his way out across the 30 to the 32-yard line. A 5-yard run moves the chains.
We talked about in the Jamboree the other day that there's just nothing there to tackle. I mean, if he gets low enough and gets that squatted position and it's bouncing off people as a defender, where do you grab? How do you get a hold of him? And that was a good example of it.
5'8", 170-pound senior running back. Their workhorse last year carried it 178 times for 858 yards and 11 touchdowns, and he's been given the ball 12 times so far tonight. He's behind Myers out of the pistol, and Barker will touch it for a third straight snap. 1 yard, and the forward progress nets him the 33, and it'll be 2nd and 9 with 10:38 and counting to go in the ball game.
I like the approach here from Spring Hill as they're coming out, and they're not getting a big hurry. They're not trying to get it all back right now. Trying not to make up the difference in points that they've given up here in the second half right here. Plenty of time. You don't want to give it back to Louisburg if you are able to score with much time left. So good ball control, but you got to be able to pick up first downs.
2nd down and 9. 3 receivers go left. Evan Letillier, the one guy to the right, as Barker stands behind Myers. Myers pointing into that linebacking core, and now he's got all kinds of time to throw. Over the middle, a great catch made by Knowlton. Went up and caught it above his head at the 49-yard line. And that was a heck of a snag by the sophomore receiver, Zach Knowlton, his 3rd grab tonight.
Wow, that is a big-time catch. To throw your hands up like that thing's coming across the middle. That's a dangerous pass by a quarterback, but he put it on a rope. He goes up there and picks it out of the air. Fantastic.
3 catches now for 88 yards from Zach Knowlton. He really shined in the Jamboree as a guy that
touched it the first time, the first play of the Jamboree. He took it to the house.
He did, and he and Klutz both had a nice rapport with the quarterback, Corbin Myers, tonight. They've each hauled in 3 passes. That's a big first down out just shy of midfield now at the 49-yard line. And this time a good read by Myers as he pulled it out of the gut of Barker and then tries to run over the defender, Kuntz, at the 46-yard line of Louisburg. It's a 5-yard run by the quarterback, Myers.
Quarterback says, do I juke him? Nah, let's just run right over the top of him. And put his helmet down and took it to him a little bit. Wasn't going to get a bunch anyways, so got an extra yard by lowering the boom a little bit.
And a big 5 yards on first down. You can stay ahead of the chains like that. I mean, it keeps the whole playbook an option, like you mentioned, allows you to really run clock and feel comfortable offensively right now, as that's their main goal, is obviously score, but do it in a timely fashion, if you will, of using up time. This time, another pull by the quarterback, Myers, who takes a shot on the end of it. Jay Scullin laid the hit there at the end, and Myers a little bit shaken up after taking that big hit, but it's another nice run down to the 39-yard line.
Yeah, it was a great read, back-to-back reads, and one of these times they're going to need to give it. And I think we'll see. I'd say keep pulling it until they stop you. Don't take shots like that. I know I talked about a play before. He lowered the boom, but he kind of got stood up a little bit, and you got to protect yourself.
8-yard run gets him a first down, and Spring Hill into plus territory at the 38 of Louisburg. Tie ball game with 8:28 left in the 4th. This time they'll go end around to Knowlton. He's got space on the far side. Breaks through at the 25, and then he's upended inside the 20-yard line. Waldron makes the stop, but Zach Knowlton, who came up with that beautiful catch on a 3rd down earlier, springs another big run there as he takes it all the way down to the 18. It's a 20-yard run for Knowlton.
What a play call. What a play call in that situation. You've been going at him. You've ran back-to-back plays, the same thing. You've got them going momentum. You can tell Louisburg's playing hard. They're running hard to the ball. That's why you're able to pull it and make those zone reads like he's been doing. That time they take advantage of their aggressiveness. Everything's going right. Ball goes back left. Big run by your big-time wide receiver.
Nick Madeline, the offensive coordinator, calling it up for Spring Hill to set him up in the red zone now. 1st and 10 at the 18. Back to Barker. Nice hesitation through the hole by Barker, and he's down to the 14. A 4-yard run as he shows some real good vision. They're working behind an offensive line that's had a really good night.
Again, it goes back to his footwork, his ability to pick him up and put him down in the hole and adjust his trajectory. It's not much. When you're a running back, it's maybe a half step. If you can make a half step, it's going to make a guy miss, and he's really good at doing that.
Drive going on about 4 minutes now for Spring Hill. This is exactly what they needed out of the offense. A productive drive, use some clock, and at this point, though, they got to capitalize and finish with some points. 2nd down and 5 at the 13-yard line. Barker this time will try the right side, and he's down to the 10. So they're going to be just short of a first down. It'll be a 3rd down and maybe 2 coming up for Spring Hill with 7 minutes, now under 7 left in the 4th quarter.
Fun little matchup. Denver Gardner up front for the Spring Hill going against Andrew Hupp, 55, 64 and 65. Those two boys, some beef up front, getting after it.
3rd down and a yard to go from the 10-yard line. Corbin Myers gets the play call into the huddle with 15 on the play clock. It took him a while. Now Myers wants a timeout. Make sure they get the right play. And he puts his hands in the air as if to say, I got to get the play sooner if we're going to get it run. So they're going to take a timeout, drop an important one here on 3rd down and 1. We'll take it with them. Back in a moment. You're watching Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Open, flexible, and dedicated to our clients with impeccable customer support. That's why you choose Tri-Century Bank. Have your bank right in your hands with mobile banking and manage your money from the comfort of your home with convenient online banking. Tri-Century is ideal for your business with competitive rates on loans and credit cards to help meet your goals. For 125 years, Tri-Century Bank has been serving Spring Hill. To learn more, join them for one of their monthly coffees. See upcoming events at tricentury.bank.
.6:35 remains in the 4th quarter of a tie ball game. Spring Hill and Louisburg knotted up at 24, but Spring Hill knocking at the door. 3rd down and 1 from the 10-yard line of Louisburg. Corbin Myers has 2 backs with him in the backfield this time. The guy behind him is their workhorse Barker. He gets it behind Stovall, and he's hit in the backfield, lunges forward, and he's going to be close, but still a bit short of those first down markers. Weideman had him initially, and that almost Barker was able to surge through that arm tackle, but instead he stopped a half-yard short, and they'll bring out the kicker, Bear Gardner, to try to put him on top with just over 6 to play.
Yeah, maybe a little too conventional on that particular play call. You might want to, you've taken advantage of their aggressiveness. I think everybody was probably looking for that interior run, and if you maybe pull it back out, but big kick here by the youngster.
So he's hit from 26. He's missed from 40. High snap. He got it down, though. Good job, Corbin Myers, putting it down, and Bear Gardner delivers.
Well, it's odd. One of the play of the game is going to be the hold on a field goal, but the holder getting that one, snatching it out of the air, and putting it down, and for Bear to maintain his focus on the ball and push it through, a big kick, and now it goes back to that defense.
A 26-yard field goal times 2 for Bear Gardner tonight. The second time he's connected, that one from the left hash, and as you mentioned, out of a very difficult catch and spot on the hold, but Corbin Myers got it down, and Gardner gets it through, and now it's a field goal lead with 5:49 to go. And this defense, which we have talked a lot about obviously tonight, and they've been very successful for the most part tonight. Last year, they allowed 22.5 points per game, 13th best in 4A. They got a lot of returners back, 6 starters back for that team. They held Louisburg to a season-low 21 points last year. And the question, not the question, but just the thought this year was, can they take that next step to becoming a really good? They were good last year. Can they be really good this year? And here's a chance, a pivotal moment with 5:49 to go, 4th quarter, against the 5th-ranked team in the state, to put their mark on this one, and this defense has a chance to go out here and win this thing. Kickoff in the air. It'll be Kuntz from the 3-yard line for Louisburg. Works his way up the far hash, met at the 25-yard line, and that's all the further he'll get as he's pile-driven back by the purple jerseys of the Bronco coverage unit.
To build on your point with the, can they make that next step? They've been really good tonight, except. And that except has been the issue. A couple of mistakes, a late tackle that, a late hit, a personal foul that should have forced them to 4th and 5 back at midfield that kept a drive alive. A few of those breakdowns in the secondary that allowed plays and big plays on 3rd down. So they've been really good. Accept. And when you can fix those accepts, then you make that next step that you're talking about.
5:41 left in regulation.
If you can learn those lessons and still win the game, that's even better.
Even better. Film session's a heck of a lot more easy, or I don't know the word I'm looking for, but more receptive in the film session after wins. Rutherford, a pump fake, wants a deep ball for Getterman. The coverage by Shear is perfect, and Dominic Shear breaks it up at the 40-yard line on the Spring Hill side of midfield as he was right there with Wes Getterman.
Yeah, your eyes have to stay on your wide receiver to not get bit on that double move. You stay on him. If he keeps going, you keep going. Really good coverage down the field on what they were trying to do. A big home run hit right there on a double move, and nice play defensively.
Second down and 10 with 5:34 to go. Spring Hill 27, Louisburg 24 here on opening night. Wildcats. Sorry, go ahead, BJ.
Logan Greenhall trying to get the crowd up into it, saying, "Hey, this is a big moment. They need to recognize that this is a big time deal." What'd you say? 2 wins since 2001.
Yep, that was what I was.
This is it right here.
Yeah, Louisburg 16-2 the last 18 meetings. Charles Kuntz gets it going off the right side, and he'll work his way out across the 30 to the 32-yard line. Rounds on Larson, company over there.
Crowds don't have the stats in front of him. Frankly, the fact that you dug them up is impressive to me. But you still need to recognize this is a moment. And if Spring Hill wins this game, I've been telling people since I got here and met Jason Feeback for the first time, I said, and looked at these facilities and said, there's something happening here. There's something going on here in this town, in this community, in this district. And a lot of times it'll manifest itself within a football program or an athletic program. And I don't want to overstate things, but with 5:17 to go, up by 3 against a team that made it to the semifinals of Class 4A a year ago, one in this area in Lewisburg that is a perennial power for the last 20 years, as long as I've been following high school football. This is a big 5 minutes. This is huge right now for them. And if this defense can hold here on third down and make them make a decision at this point, things start to really spiral for you in a good way.
Another cramping situation for one of the Lewisburg offensive players. Haven't checked. I can't see the number on the young man over there. Is being helped up now, and it looks like that's the tight end Waldron.
Think about cramps. If you got to hydrate yesterday.
Yeah, no kidding.
If you wait till today or wait till tonight to get the fluids in you, it's too late. And
another note here that's not of insignificance is Wyatt Dickey is back on the field. He was the one who was shaken up earlier. They're starting one of their starting 2 middle linebackers, and he is on the field for Spring Hill. So they've got full complement out there of their starting defense for a huge possession here and a big third down. 3rd and 3. Rutherford on the snap. Fakes the pump fake on the right side. Now goes deep down the sideline for Getterman, who makes a nice back shoulder catch at around the 40-yard line. And Getterman's really come along here in this second half. He's had a big second half for them, for Lewisburg. And on Dominic Shear that time, Getterman wins the battle with the catch down to the 35-yard line.
Yeah, Shear won it over on this side. They went that side. He was, again, good coverage right in his hip. That ball was thrown a little bit short, and it helped the wide receiver as he was able to go back and get it. And that really helped them out on that particular play. And big one, 5:10 to go.
130 yards on 7 catches for Getterman tonight. 5:10 left on the clock here in the fourth quarter. Spring Hill 27, Lewisburg 24. Lewisburg now into plus territory after the big pass of 23 yards to Getterman. Rutherford slings it out quick to the far outside receiver on the left side. A little comeback route from him, and there's nothing there after the catch. As Spring Hill able to stand him up right away. The catch made by Connor Vose. Nowhere to go. Larson and Stovall make the tackle for no gain.
Yeah, good pursuit after the catch. They got a blocker out on the defender, but everybody else was able to get there before anything positive was made.
2nd down and 10 now. Clock running at 4:38 left in the fourth quarter. Spring Hill led this game 24-6 at one point back in the first half before, in essence, back-to-back scores. A score to end the first half by Lewisburg and then a score to start the second half by Lewisburg. And play clock down to 3, down to 2 when the snap comes to Rutherford, who shovels it forward to Charles Kuntz. And a big hit coming up out of the secondary to lay the blow that time for Spring Hill was perhaps Larson, the safety.
35, 25.
Now Cody Powell was the guy who came flying in there to lay that hit on Kuntz.
He ran a ways to get there, too.
Yeah.
But he was coming with some purpose. He's like, man, if I ran this far, I better make something happen.
And he shut Kuntz down after just a 2-yard run. Clock underneath of 4 minutes. Big third down, 3rd and 8. And from the 33-yard line, I would venture to say they are not in field goal range for Drake Varnes. You'd be looking at about a 50-yard attempt from here. So I don't know that That's in the right leg of Varnes. As they trail by a field goal, Louisburg does with 3.5 left in the fourth. Probably 4-down territory for the Wildcats. Rutherford in the shot, or the pistol. Weideman stands behind him, and they're going to try to set up a screen, I think, to Weideman. Now Rutherford is in trouble, and he's sacked back at the 48-yard line. Carson Downs, or rather Aaron Dominic, 71, not 41. It was Aaron Dominic who took Rutherford down back at the 48-yard line. And Rutherford, you could still see he just can't quite move with those cramps he's been dealing with, and he's still down, holding that leg high up in the air, which is the universal sign for I'm cramping. And unfortunately, you can just feel the pain he's in watching him try to run. But Aaron Dominic with a huge play for the defense right there.
Just a antelope on the Serengeti with a bum leg, and Dominic was the line tracking him down. Man, that was he just kept coming and coming, and poor Rutherford he just didn't know what to do, and he couldn't run, and there was nowhere to throw the football. And that is a big play defensively by that young man who's had a really good game tonight. And now they're in a situation, if Spring Hill can hold right here. They've been giving up some big plays. We've seen that be, one of the things I talked about as far as accept the big plays, accept the mistakes or penalties. Other than those things, they've been just like that tonight. So cut that accept out. But now without their quarterback, if they don't want to take their final time out here, they're going to bring in a backup quarterback in a 4th and a mile.
Yeah, I think you got to punt it here. Do you not? I mean, what are your odds of getting 4th and 22 with your backup quarterback as opposed to, I guess you've lost your punter too, though, with your kicker.
They're going to burn that time out, I think.
I don't know. This is an interesting spot. I mean, there's only 3:16 to go. I think to me, you got to put some faith in the defense here, because your odds of converting the 4th and 22, in my opinion, are, if not less, they're certainly not any better than your odds of putting them back inside the 20, 15-yard line and hoping your defense can make a stop. This is why I guess they get paid to coach here, because these are the decisions that are tough.
Yeah, I'm glad you stopped right at the big bucks, because they don't get paid the big bucks. But
I just said the bucks. Yeah, they get paid. And by the way, for those of you playing the Spring Hill Live Bingo at home, Serengeti, you've got that one now. You can cross that one off. I like that reference. That was good. And they have burned that timeout. That was, as BJ said, the final timeout for Louisburg. Well, while they talk it over, we'll take a quick break with them. 3:04 left in the fourth. Spring Hill by 3 on Spring Hill Sports Live on opening night.
A great collision on the field? Awesome. An awesome collision on the road? Not so great. If that bad play does come your way, take your car to Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center. As Kansas City's premier auto collision repair center, they work on all makes and models, even RV, marine, aviation, motorcycles, and more. Shoemaker Collision offers free estimates and loaners, plus they will work with all insurance companies. Get your ride back in the game. Learn more at shoemakercollision.com or call 913-592-0095.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
3:04 remains in the fourth quarter from Spring Hill tonight, 27-24. The Broncos with a 3-point lead on the visiting and defending Frontier League champion Louisburg Wildcats. They ran the table in the league last year, 7-0, and they're on the ropes in their first matchup of 2019. And it is the offense who stays on the field, so they're going to try to convert a 4th and 22 from their own 47, from the Spring Hill 47. After the timeout, Rutherford, he's got a man open, and that's caught by Benjamin Weideman inside the 20-yard line to the 15. On 4th and 22, they pick up 35 or 32 yards and move the chains. My, oh my.
Mistake that was there was no timeout taken. When they came out of the timeout and were in punt return and they brought out the offense, you immediately call timeout. You've got 2 of them. You take it, you come back over and say, okay, we're going to put the defense out. They were not in a position. In fact, the guy on the far side didn't have a defender on him, and the guy in the middle just happened to get open. That is a big-time breakdown by Spring Hill coaching staff.
Weideman, who's been a decoy all second half, hadn't touched the ball until right there, and he came up with a huge 32 yards. 1st and 10 now with a 15. Shoveled it forward to Kuntz. He's grabbed around the waist and drugged down at the 11-yard line. A 4-yard run with 2.5 to go here in the fourth quarter. A 3-point Spring Hill lead still.
Yeah, now the situation you get into is you're starting to run out of time. So you've got to make a stop. If you let them get into the end zone with a touchdown, you are not going to have much time left on the clock to make up that 4-point difference. And so you've got to make a stop right now. If you're Spring Hill, you're not going to have much other opportunities to come back.
And Louisburg certainly within range for their kicker, Drake Varnes, but they've got their thoughts on 6, not 3. Spring Hill defense, can they rise to the occasion? 2nd down and 7 at the 11. Snap comes back to Rutherford. Wants Getterman on the left side. He's got him at the 5-yard line. And he'll blow the play dead as he was stood up by Shear. Forward progress marks it at the 6, which is better than the 5 that I called because that leaves him a yard short of the first down. So 3rd and 1 coming up.
Speechless.
90 seconds and counting left in the 4th. A 27-24 Spring Hill lead. Louisburg, who's won 16 of the last 18 meetings since 2001, they're on the doorstep of a potential go-ahead score. They have not led tonight. Rutherford is under center. He'll keep it. Quarterback sneak. 3rd time we've seen him use that. It's worked for 2 first downs and a touchdown so far tonight as he pushes forward to the 6 for 2 yards. And it's 1st and goal Louisburg with 1:04 to go in the ball game.
Yeah, they go on quick snap. Quarterback gets up there, and as soon as that center feels him underneath him, he says, go, and try to catch the defense off guard a little bit.
Clock under a minute. Louisburg is out of timeouts, so they are in a position now. They make a late substitution as well. They do not have any timeouts left. Spring Hill's got a pair of timeouts with 45 seconds and counting left in this ball game. 14 on the play clock as Rutherford will stay back at the pistol. Down to 10 on the play clock now on a 1st and goal at the 4-yard line. Scullin, the motion man. Wide in the deep back, and before the snap, a penalty flag comes in for the near side line judge. A false start against Louisburg. That is big with 33 seconds left. And again, no timeouts for Louisburg. And now they need 9 yards as opposed to 4.
I don't know who they got that on. I didn't see an offensive lineman move, although 75 is pretty upset with himself. So perhaps that's the guilty party.
And that's their first team All-State offensive tackle, Braden White, from last year. 33 seconds.
Real interesting now.
Because, again, with no timeouts, and they're they want to run the ball from the 4, a little more appealing than from the 9 with no timeouts, and the clock is continuing to run down to 25 seconds left. Clock down to 22 as Rutherford is communicating with his tailback Weideman. Down to 18 seconds left now. No timeouts for Louisburg. Snap to Rutherford. He rolls right, throws it to the back corner of the end zone. Getterman lays out, but it's out of his reach with 11 seconds left. 2nd and goal from the 9 coming up for Louisburg with just 11 seconds. And I repeat, no timeouts, and you got a gimpy quarterback who's been brought down a couple of times. This is getting
this takes the run off the table. It's a pass. Yes. You can't run the ball now if you don't have any timeouts. If you don't get it, time's going to run out. You have to throw the football. Spring Hill has to know that. Coach needs to recognize he's got 2 timeouts left. You don't need them now. Call a timeout. Make sure you've got the right defense on the field for what you know they're going to do. They're going to let it ride.
2nd and goal to the 9. 11 seconds to go in the 4th. Lewisburg down 3, 9 yards away from a potential go-ahead score. No timeouts for the Wildcat offense. Rutherford, he wants to call a timeout, but they don't have one, and there's a delay of game against Lewisburg.
That might be I don't know if that's a runoff or.
It shouldn't be because the clock was already stopped. I think if it were a situation where the clock were running, then it would be. But in this case, clock was stopped already, so there shouldn't be a runoff. But now you're looking at almost to the point where you got maybe a shot to the end zone before you have to think about bringing your kicker out if you're Lewisburg.
Again, I call a timeout here.
2nd and goal at the 14. Really, the 2nd and goal part is irrelevant because there's only 11 seconds left. The 14 certainly relevant. That's how far they are away from a potential go-ahead score. 27-24 Spring Hill. Lewisburg 14 yards out with 11 ticks left in the 4th quarter. Rutherford claps his hands, gets the snap, pumps the shoulders, throws the fade to the back corner of the end zone. Getterman is there, and it's incomplete. Getterman looked like he almost hauled that one in, but he could not secure the catch with Dom Shear in the coverage. And now with 4 seconds left, they'll bring out Drake Varnes for a potential game-tying field goal try.
Well, he's made that catch tonight.
Yep.
Just like that, falling down just over the top. I tell you what, Rutherford throws a beautiful ball. He puts it in the place where his wide receiver can go get it. It was really good the coverage. The catches those guys have made like that have been well covered. It's just been fortunate for Louisburg at time. But now, how about this one for this guy?
Senior kicker Drake Varnes, who hit from 35 earlier in this second half.
5 seconds on the play clock.
This will be a 30-yard try to try and tie it, and it's a no good. He didn't hit it smooth. It ends up wide right and short. There are zeros on the clock, and a missed field goal as time expires ends the ball game as the Spring Hill Broncos win it to open up 2019 with a 27-24 upset of the 5th-ranked Louisburg Wildcats.
How about them apples? That is something else. Could not have drawn it up better for the first game out for us broadcasting Spring Hill High School football, and man, they earned it tonight. They gave them a chance. They gave Louisburg opportunities. They've squandered a lead. They did a few things that they shouldn't have done. Ultimately, it was the positives that overrun the negatives tonight in what will be, again, I said it earlier, and when you make statements like I said with about 3 minutes to go in the game, you hope like heck the team backs them up. It is a program-defining win. You don't want to overstate it, and as players, you've got to maintain a level head about things. But it's a big deal. It's a big deal for Spring Hill to get off the season started this way, just for this moment. But in general, this is something big for Coach Feeback to build on.
Spring Hill wins for just the 3rd time in now 19 meetings since 2001 against the Louisburg Wildcats, who went 10-1 last year and had all kinds of high expectations entering this season. And not that those expectations can't still be reached for Lewisburg, but for Spring Hill, they have certainly opened up a lot of eyes, I think, across the Frontier League. Maybe not so in their own locker room, because I think Coach Feeback and these guys had that confidence about them every time I've spoken with Coach and every time I've watched this team practice this preseason leading up to it. But certainly to a lot of people, this opened some eyes, and I think we've got a pretty darn good football team on our hands here.
Yeah, and it is a team. That's a great thing about it, too. There's a ton of individual guys you could talk about in this ball game. Myers obviously lead the team offensively as a quarterback. Individually, you go across it. But some of those units, the guys who you don't talk about all the time, that offensive line unit, the pocket they gave him early in the game and maintained late in the game when your legs are tired, and the defensive line doing what they did. A couple of breakdowns late, but it didn't end up costing them the game. Ultimately, those two units really stepped up tonight. What a night, what a win. Spring Hill with the victory. They start 2019 1-0 as they defeat the Louisburg Wildcats 27-24. Your final score tonight here in Spring Hill. Coming up next, it's the Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center postgame show on Spring Hill Sports Live.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Shop local and save at Price Chopper, your hometown grocery store in Spring Hill. Price Chopper has great everyday deals throughout the store. Enjoy hand-cut steaks from the meat department, the freshest fruits and vegetables from the produce aisle, and savor the flavors from the bakery. Check out their weekly ad to get the best deals on what you need, from apples to aspirin, Cool Whip to Cool Crisp lettuce. Plus, the Spring Hill Price Chopper is now your home for Dunkin' Donuts. Locally owned and operated, Price Chopper in Spring Hill. Open daily 6 a.m. to 10 p.m.
A great collision on the field? Awesome. An awesome collision on the road? Not so great. If that bad play does come your way, take your car to Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center. As Kansas City's premier auto collision repair center, they work on all makes and models, even RV, marine, aviation, motorcycles, and more. Shoemaker Collision offers free estimates and loaners, plus they will work with all insurance companies. Get your ride back in the game. Learn more at shoemakercollision.com or call 913-592-0095.
Your home for Bronco Athletics is Spring Hill Sports Live. The Broncos hit the road for the first time next Friday night as they travel to Ottawa to take on the Cyclones. Our pregame coverage starts at 6:30, kickoff at 7. Catch every second of the action all season long on Spring Hill Sports Live. It's the Broncos and Cyclones next Friday night right here on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Open.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Welcome back live to Spring Hill, where you see the congratulatory hugs and high fives and everything else going on with those Spring Hill Broncos as they win it on opening night over the Louisburg Wildcats, 27-24. The defense held on the final series of this game. The offense touched the ball twice in the second half. 2 offensive possessions for Spring Hill in the second half. The first was a 3-and-out. The second was a nearly 5.5-minute drive that ended with a 26-yard Bear Gardner field goal, which proved to be the game winner after Louisburg then drove down, got it all the way to the 4 before a delay of game, pushed them back out to the 9, and then they ended up settling for a 30-yard field goal try from their senior kicker, Drake Varnes, on the game's final play, and it would be wide and short to the right. Didn't look like he hit it well.
I think it got blocked.
It may have been tipped by one of the defenders for Spring Hill. Either way you slice it, it was no good. And those are the only 2 words that ended up mattering for Jason Feeback and his guys as the field goal missed as time expires to give Spring Hill a 27-24 opening night victory over the Louisburg Wildcats.
Fantastic way to get things started. And, again, you should enjoy it. You know, it's people hugging babies and wives kissing husbands, and it's a big deal, I think, and it is. It's a good upset win over a team that won it last year, and these guys should be happy and enjoy it and let it feed their soul to what it could build in this season, because it's just the beginning. Is one of those things. This all goes back to what Coach says. Finish. This is a great beginning. And the best line he said I've heard is, everybody likes to be a starter. Not everybody can finish.
Yep.
And this is a start, but it's a big one. And what a great night for the Broncos.
Spring Hill led 24-6 late in the first half before Louisburg would then score 18 straight points. And one of the things Coach talked about, and I'm going to ask him, he's going to join us here on the postgame show shortly, but he talked about what's his guys going to do when they face a little adversity. Well, they faced it tonight, and they were up to the task as they hold on and win this one 27-24, the final score here on opening night. What a victory for the Broncos. You're listening to the Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center post-game show here on Spring Hill Sports Live. Post-game show brought to you by Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center, Kansas City's premier auto collision repair center. They work with all insurance companies and can get you back on the road in no time. To learn more, visit them online at shoemakercollision.com or call 913-592-0095. 27-24 the final here tonight. Spring Hill over Louisburg. And the head ball coach of those Spring Hill Broncos, Jason Feeback, joins us now on the Shoemaker Collision post-game show. Coach, congratulations on a heck of a night, a heck of a win. Way to start the year.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. That punt, though. Yeah, we zeroed everybody up, and I don't know what happened, but we had a guy wide open, but kids saved my rear end. I got to give our kids all the credit, man. They were gritty and came out and believed, and that's a good ball club. They're going to win some games. I thought we were in a little better shape. And just kept playing, finished the game. So
you told me earlier this week when we talked, you were excited or interested to see what was going to happen when your guys had to face a little adversity, because you were confident in what your guys could do. You're confident in some of the leadership, but what would happen when they faced a little adversity? Well, up 24-6. 18 straight points by Louisburg. All of a sudden, Louisburg now knocking at the door for a potential go-ahead score. I'd say that was facing a little adversity for your guys.
That's adversity. That's adversity. And, thankfully, we didn't have any serious injuries with adversity. We just had game situations and had some things go our way, and our guys bucked up. We switched Dom over to number 3, who was killing us, Dom Shearer. We put him on him, and I think he shut him down after that. So it was he had a big play there, but, it's just kids responding, and I think we work big on character with our kids, and we were just talking before the game about how, the quality of our kids and the coachability and just the good kids we have make it easy to coach them because they want coaching. They want to show up and work, and they want to get better. Hey, we're undersized, and we got some good talent, but we're overlooked. Everybody's overlooking us, and I think our guys play with a little chip on their shoulders, so – that's kind of nice.
Not anymore. You're not overlooked anymore, Coach.
Yeah. Well, our goal was 1-0 this week, and we got that. Our goal is going to be 1-0 next week, and just keep working for that. We'll be back at it 6 in the morning on Monday and get a good hour and a half practice in. Got JV games and full docket of games next week. So
I could probably keep you up here in the booth all night talking about
I'd love to
so
talk about
much.
this game all night.
Yeah, exactly. We just bottle this one up and just do this one again and again and again.
Yeah.
But I want to start with the guys that a lot of times don't get much recognition because there's not direct stats that get tagged with them. But I thought your offensive line as a unit played one a heck of a ball game tonight, keeping Corbin upright, giving him time, opening some running lanes. I mean, that unit tonight, for my money anyway, were probably the stars of the game.
Absolutely. I'd give them every game ball if we had it in the budget. Those guys played hard, kept Corbin pretty clean, and allowed us to have time. And we had pretty good passes tonight. So, I'll give those guys a shout. We had J.B. Watkins, Denver Gardner, Wyatt George, Tanner Thompson, and Aaron Dominic played the whole game.
Which is impressive on an opening night.
Yeah, and, out of that group, J.B. didn't play much last year, and Aaron Dominic didn't play much last year on varsity. So, but those are a couple kids that put in a lot of work, and J.B. is 180 pounds, just playing his rear off. He's the most excited guy out there.
Yeah, he didn't lack for that.
Yeah, but Zaid finishing blocks, and I don't know. It's a total team effort. I can't tell you how exciting it is, how proud I am as a coach of these guys tonight.
Another thing we talked about was who's going to kind of step up and take on all those receptions that you lost from last year. You had to have somebody catch the ball. You got a guy who could sling it with Myers, but who's going to catch it? And Gage Klutz early on made some big plays, and then Zach Knowlton late stepped up. Two guys who really kind of shined in that receiving
Two guys
corps.
that in practice they do some really good things. Gage catches everything. I was surprised he dropped the one over on the 50. Could have had a first down there, but normally he brings that in, went right off his face. But Knowlton makes plays. He's a young guy, so you just don't know how they're going to respond, but he's going to be a big-time player. And Mitchell, I have to watch the film. I'm not sure how his stuff was going. Letellier had a decent little run on a quick one to him, but we had some guys step up tonight.
Of all the passes that Corbin Myers threw that got caught, he actually may have made the best catch of the night on that snap, the final field goal there that Gardner made. I mean, that was a high snap that was tough to get down, and I mean, the quarterback, you don't talk about him catching balls very often, but that catch may have been the most important catch of anything tonight.
I'm telling you, Corbin Myers is going to be a D1 baseball player someday. He's going to Fort Scott Community College to play baseball, but he's a catcher, and so he's got those hands, and he just does a good job with it. So, we're just real thankful for him back there.
Well, on the other side of that, you got Bear Gardner, who I talked to with you earlier this week about where you guys like to use him. I mean, how far out can we use Gardner and all this? And you said then you had confidence in your kicker, and you used him 3 times tonight, and he made, well, not counting the extra points, he was perfect on those, but then he also trotted him out there for 3 field goal tries, missed the longest of them, but knocked 2 of them through, including the game winner. That's a big night for the senior kicker.
Absolutely, and he works at it. He's worked all summer. He's been to camps. He's got some big goals for himself. I think the other thing that gets overlooked is how deep he can put the ball on kickoffs. And a lot of times teams are starting on the 20-yard line with our coverage, and sometimes he puts them deep. So, Bear's huge for us. He's a big-time player.
Defensive unit tonight as a whole started out really good. Then they were on the field a ton.
It was
in
a
that
9-minute
second
drive.
half. Yes.
Yeah, that third quarter was a 9-minute drive. I was like, then we got the ball back. We're 3 and out.
You had 2 possessions second half offense.
Yeah, I'm glad that other one we had was 7 minutes or something.
Well, that's crazy.
I was talking to Madeline. I had to apologize. I was like, we got to move the ball. He's like, our offense, throw and run. I was like, I'm sorry, you're right. But no, we were off the field for a minute and we got right back on it, and gritty, man, just gritty.
Yeah, it was a fun first game to be a part of. From my vantage point, I can't imagine how fun it was right down there in the thick of it on the sideline.
Yeah,
but you could tell the guys were enjoying it.
The guys were so excited. I hadn't seen them that excited for a long time.
All right, Coach. Well, I'm going to let you get out of here and go in the locker room and enjoy this one a little bit more with those guys, and we'll get back to work and go down and test it on the road with Ottawa next week. But congratulations on a great way to start the 2019 season. Thanks for coming up here and chatting with us about it in this postgame.
Thank you so much.
Jason Feeback, the head coach of the Broncos, as they win it here tonight against Louisburg to open up the year. 27-24, your final. More of the Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center postgame show coming up next on Spring Hill Sports Live.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Elliott Insurance Group is a proud supporter of Spring Hill and USD 230. At Elliott Insurance Group, we work, live, and shop in our local communities, serving Miami and Johnson counties for more than 45 years. Elliott Insurance Group understands your needs. As an independent insurance agency, Elliott Insurance Group works with numerous carriers to find the coverage that best fits your needs. In Spring Hill, call 913-592-5552 or visit elliottInsuranceGroup.com. Are you looking for a trusted heating or air conditioning contractor in the Spring Hill area? Look no further than Comfort Designs. Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning has 100% NATE certified technicians who are friendly, knowledgeable, and ready to help. They'll care for your home and complete the job with speed and precision. Locally owned and operated for more than 20 years, Comfort Designs, Spring Hill's heating and air conditioning company. See all they have to offer at comfortdesigns.net or schedule your appointment at 913-592-4453.
Prime Accounting Solutions in Spring Hill is here to help you and your business grow. From accounting services to tax planning, Prime Accounting is here to help you meet your goals and achieve your dreams. The accountants at Prime Accounting Solutions stay up to date on the latest news and information, ensuring the best options, services, and returns for you. Give Prime Accounting Solutions a call at 913-592-2050. Visit them at 408 North Webster in Spring Hill or go online to primeaccounting.net.
Your local farmer's insurance agent is Leah Smith. With more than 10 years of industry experience in both Kansas and Missouri, Leah is sure to customize the right plan for you. Her straightforward and personalized approach will help you better understand your coverage options. Stop on by at 159th and Merlin, right up the street in South Olathe, or call 913-221-0755. Leah Smith Agency, Farmers Insurance, proudly serving Spring Hill and cheering on the Broncos.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
When it comes to protecting your family, home, and business, look to a local, community-minded agent. In Spring Hill, that's Allstate agent Libby Clark. With more than 15 years of industry experience, Libby and her team are committed to providing a customized family protection plan that fits your needs. A full-service agency, Libby Clark offers a broad range of insurance and financial services, building relationships with a focus on helping their neighbors. That's the Libby Clark Agency. Visit them on the southeast corner of 223rd and Harrison in Spring Hill.
What if grass wasn't just for mowing? What if all the games weren't on TV? What if you saw the grandkids on more than just holidays? What if you got out of the house more often, maybe for good? Cedar Lake Village Senior Living. Life is how you live, not just where. To learn more, call 888-508-2022.
A great collision on the field? Awesome. An awesome collision on the road? Not so great. If that bad play does come your way, take your car to Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center. As Kansas City's premier auto collision repair center, they work on all makes and models, even RV, marine, aviation, motorcycles, and more. Shoemaker Collision offers free estimates and loaners, plus they will work with all insurance companies. Get your ride back in the game. Learn more at shoemakercollision.com or call 913-592-0095.
This is Bronco football on Spring Hill Sports Live.
Back here live on the Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center post-game show. BJ Harris and Bryce Kessler. We had a heck of a night here in Spring Hill where the Broncos upset the number 5 ranked Louisburg Wildcats 27-24 to start 2019. The Wildcats were the defending league champs. They went perfect 7-0 in the Frontier League last year. Well, that's not happening this year. Spring Hill with the first major upset of this 2019 Kansas high school football season, and they did it on their home turf in front of an excited crowd and a bunch that's going to be really excited to get back on the field for practice and then their Week 2 ball game down in Ottawa. But let's run through some of the final numbers real quick. Louisburg actually outgained Spring Hill tonight 378-314, but they held the ball for basically the entire second half. Spring Hill had 2 offensive possessions in the second half. They got 3 points out of it. That's all they needed. 168 on the ground for Louisburg, 210 through the air. Spring Hill with a $136 on the ground and 178 through the air. Game only had 1 turnover, and that was a Louisburg fumble back in the first half, which led to 3 Spring Hill points. Spring Hill's quarterback Corbin Myers ends up 8 of 15, 178 yards and a touchdown. That touchdown went to Gage Klutz, who had 3 catches for 78 yards. Zach Knowlton, 3 catches for a team-high 88 yards. Evan Letillier caught 1 ball for 8, and Zade Barker had 1 reception for 4 yards. Barker was their leading rusher, 75 yards on 16 carries and a pair of 4-yard touchdown runs. Zach Knowlton, 4 carries for 31 yards, and Corbin Myers ran it 5 times for 30 yards. For Louisburg, Madden Rutherford ended up 13 of 25 for 210 yards and a touchdown. That one went to Charles Kuntz. His only catch was that 29-yard touchdown. His main target was Wes Getterman, who hauled in 8 balls for 136 yards in the game, but could not quite grasp a late ball in the end zone that would have been a potential game-winning touchdown for Louisburg, but it was just out of his grasp with Dom Scheer blanketed all over him. The leading rusher was Ben Weiderman. He had 72 yards on 14 carries, did not carry the ball in the second half. He only had 1 touch in the second half after he was hurt late in the first half. He was used primarily as a decoy in the second half, it seemed, but then they did find him for a 4th and 22 conversion on a 32-yard pass play, but he did not run the ball in the second half, still finished as the team's leading rusher with 72 yards on 14 carries. Justin Collins carried 4 times for 33 yards, including a 21-yard touchdown, and Madden Rutherford, 19 yards on 11 carries with a 1-yard touchdown. Those are the final stats here tonight. As far as the player of the game goes in this one, I don't know how you choose one because so many guys earned it tonight for Spring Hill. The offensive line as a unit earned it. Bear Gardner, the game-winning kick, and a pair of field goals for him earned it. I mean, there was lots of guys who earned this, that honor. And quite frankly, I mean, there's nothing that holds us to having to give one out. But I think this was as Coach said, if we had the budget to give a game ball to every player, I think they all earned one tonight.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And you know what's great about that is when you're a team that's got to prepare for them, what do you do?
Yeah.
You come in and you go, well, that guy was pretty good. We probably got to stop 13. He made quite a few catches. Oh, that running back, he's tough to stop. The quarterback can do things. That offensive line, it's not hard to – you can't pick a guy to go against, you know. And so defensively the same way. What do we do? Block 41? We block 71? 47? What do we do? So it's just it's nice to win it. And when you win a game like this, it's an upset victory and one that's a big deal for the program. It takes an entire team. And so it's certainly a good deal. Great night for the Broncos. Excited to see what they can come up with next week. And that's the way the high school season goes. It goes like a flash in football because there's only 9 games you're guaranteed. But this one's a big one, and this is one these young men are going to remember for a long, long time.
Big-time win for Spring Hill tonight, 27-24 to start 1-0. Next week they visit Ottawa, who coming into tonight had lost 16 straight games going back to week 2 of the 17 season. But that streak is over as Ottawa wins it tonight over Baldwin, 26-14 the final score. So the streak is over for Ottawa. They're 1-0 action there in non-Frontier League game, but a Frontier League team. Tonganoxie wins 49-28 in their opener over Baser Linwood. And those are the only Frontier games that I've seen run across my Twitter wire here. So anyway, it's who cares about the other ones? The one we care about won, right? No. Great night of football to open up the 2019 season, and Jason Feeback and the boys are victorious, 27-24. So that's going to do it for us here tonight. Hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast here on Spring Hill Sports Live. Good news is we can do it all again next Friday night down in Ottawa, 6:30 pregame, 7 o'clock kickoff. We're just getting started here with Spring Hill Sports Live, and by the looks of it, this football program is getting started on potentially a strong season this year as they had a great showing tonight in this opener. BJ, it was a pleasure, man.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the heck out of this one tonight.
Sometime.
We'll do it again next Friday night at Ottawa. So that's it for us tonight. Once more, your final score tonight, Spring Hill 27, Louisburg 24. You've been watching the Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center post-game show on your home for the Broncos, Spring Hill Sports Live.
It's time for Spring Hill High School football.
One to the right side. Braden throws the slant for Kroll. In and out. Did he catch it on a bobble? He did. Bryson Kroll hauls it in for a 9-yard touchdown reception.
Spring Hill Sports Live is brought to you by Comfort Designs Heating and Air Conditioning, Price Chopper, Kim Thompson at Prudential Financial, the Spring Hill Recreation Commission, Shoemaker Collision and Paint Center, Cedar Lake Village, Crown Realty, the Elliott Insurance Group, Prime Accounting Solutions, Farmers Insurance, Leah Smith Agency, Tri-Century Bank, Allstate, Libby Clark Agency, the Spring Hill Chamber of Commerce, Spring Hill Fitness, Perfect Detail Salon, and Whitesell Optometry.
5,